This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin Freakin.
You cannot tell me that that's not a heartwarming intro. Welcome to the Troll Patrol Live. It's a freaking Sunday. I'm not high enough for this shit. You want to get high with me? I'm sorry, I had to take a week off. I can explain it. What do you mean WWE Cope? It was a good match. I just watched it again with Curiouser. It was a good match because Gunther beat the fuck out of John Cena. It was awesome. Light one up and tip one back. It's that time of year we put the Christmas decorations up. We got the fake snow. We got real snow outside. Those roads were treacherous out there. DJ Dub sent me pictures of the snowstorm that hit the middle of the country last week. God damn. Media Winch, speaking of goddamn, Media Winch in the house. How are you, darling? Now that you're here, we should totally light one up, tip one back. I am finally, after like a year, I am finally able to use my nice microphone, my condenser mic again. There's been nothing wrong with the microphone. I needed a $5 clip. A clip for the microphone. That's all I needed. We've spent a year without this beautiful, wonderful microphone. I just found out that it was a father and son combo that committed its Bondi Beach. Pam Bondi Beach in Australia. A father and son combo. We're going to get all the details. It's just another day in mass shooting USA. It's just another day in mass shooting Australia for some reason. You see Smokey behind me? We've got this cool little setup over here where you can see a cat. I'm thinking about hooking up a separate camera. I have the cameras set aside. Have multiple cameras set aside to set up a camera, the cat cam, that would show you live video of whatever cat is laying on this tote that you can see behind me. Maybe I should make the cat cam of the there are two cats on the bed behind me, actually. I shall set up a cat camera for your cat viewing pleasure. Good evening. I want to show you this. Media Witch, you will appreciate this. Curiouser has been in the kitchen making sweet treats all day. Oh, I thought I broke his tail. I didn't break his tail. That's just the one I already ate. Check out these little mice. Little chocolate mice. That's a long ass hair. Little chocolate mouse. She made fudge. She made Christmas crack. She made some sort of licking window pane thing, and I don't know. Yeah, it looks like somebody licked window panes before they made them. I'd never heard of this particular dessert, and I did not try it yet. But I am fond of these chocolate covered cherries. Now, I have a completely new setup. This is the last time I saw you guys. This is a new soundboard. This is a new hard drive. So, like, I think everything works. I think I've tried every scenario and figured out that everything works. But some things might not work. I didn't hit the music. And I can actually hear the music this time. I've been sitting here in silence. But hopefully, we get a phone call or something. It's all kosher. We can handle it. Hold on. Do I have the phone lines open? Oh, hold on. See, little things like this. I've got to add the Troll Patrol account. See, it's not just popping up. I'm going to have to spend some time doing it. God damn it. Libertad, welcome in. So maybe we're not going to be able to take calls tonight. Everything else should work. Including these chocolate covered cherries. They taste amazing. I need to break my Satanic Panic mug out. I don't exactly know where it is. Oh, anyway. We got news to find out about. There's like all kinds of shit going on since the last, like, for me to pick a week to take off, last week had a whole shit ton of news going on. I probably shouldn't, but I couldn't help it. They took this wall out and they replaced it. I replaced a hard drive. Like I honest to God could not do anything. So I was off for a week. Princess Kimberly, welcome in. Let's start off with it's just another day in mass shooting USA. Police believe they have a person of interest in the Brown shooting. I think 2 people died, 9 others injured at Leftist Corporation. Welcome in. It is indeed this hippie, DJ Dub. Charlie Kirk's wife. Oh, it is. It's Australia today. But it was Brown University last night.
Tonight, 3 senior law enforcement
Jelly.
officials told NBC News they detained 24-year-old Benjamin Erickson in connection with the mass shooting at Brown University that killed 2 and wounded at least 9. The officials adding they're looking into what may be an extensive mental health history and a possible connection to the university.
How confident are you that you have the suspect?
Oh, I'm pretty confident.
The culmination of a 12-hour manhunt involving more than 400 law enforcement. Today, FBI Director Kash Patel tweeted they detained a person of interest in a hotel room early this morning, just miles away from the university. It happened.
Well, if Kash Patel said it, then I have reason to believe that it's not true. He's not a reliable source.
Happened hours after police released this footage showing what they described as a person of interest walking away from the shooting.
I'll change it. You're right, Crix.
Gripped the campus.
We could see gurneys being prepared, and it was quite uncertain.
Police! Providence police! Hands!
New video shows the moment police stormed a nearby library on Saturday. Students terrified, hands in the air.
Obviously there's something going on. We're here to help you. Just listen to what we have to say, okay?
Researcher Chris Kremer says he heard what sounded like shots fired.
I heard several muffled bangs.
Today, Providence Mayor Brett Smiley recalled how one of the victims at the hospital told him he believes another student may have saved his life.
By pulling him down and out of the way, and was asking about that other person's well-being. And so here's a guy who's in a hospital bed, gunshot wound, worried about someone else.
Tonight, with finals and classes canceled, Brown University is mourning lives lost, while some say they're now resigned to a grim reality.
This isn't going to change. No one's going to change this.
Aaron is joining us now from Providence. And Aaron,
well, not with that attitude. No one's going to change it.
Service for the man who's in custody, right?
That's right, Hallie. Public records show that he served as a specialist in the Army. He lived in Washington.
Surprise, surprise.
Wisconsin. He had no criminal record. Hallie?
Aaron,
the U.S. military fucked somebody else up.
Security and intelligence correspondent Tom Winter now. And Tom, police are going to want to know more about this weapon and how this attacker got into the school.
Oh, that's right, Hallie. As a matter of fact, investigators are looking deep into the mental health history of this person of interest to try and figure out why he may have done this and to ask questions about his past. Some of those questions had any gun store owners previously flagged Erickson in any potential purchases or permits he had sought. They're asking what his specific ties were to Brown University. Was there any prior disciplinary action taken? And law enforcement officials in New England also have questions about the security at Brown University. Should doors have been locked? Should there have been better efforts to limit access? It will likely strengthen calls from law enforcement for greater funding and access to mental health care as they struggle to stay on top of a host of threats from targeted killings to acts of terrorism. Back in Providence, state charges against Erickson could be filed as soon as Monday by the state AG's office. The investigation is ongoing, and if federal laws were determined to have been broken, well, the feds could bring charges too, Hallie.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.
For some reason, Shut Up Lester wasn't there. I had to go put it in. We can't have that. I needed that one. As I said, little things. I think most things are working. Little things are not working. We'll get the kinks worked out. I've got some footage of the cops going in and coming across some of the students that were sheltering in place. Clinically, welcome in. Now that Clinically's here, light one up and tip one back. Curious or not, I bought these hot cocoa spoons. They're 150 milligrams each. And we bought 3 of them because I was on the spot. Originally I asked for 2. It was like 2 will do us for the holidays. I had $20 left over. Everything else was $25. So I was like, alright, give me another one of the spoons. We drank half of one on Friday night. Producer Dave asked me to come by for Conspiracy Bingo. I was like, well, I'm having this hot cocoa. I'll see how I feel in a couple hours. If I'm not like just in the couch. Unfortunately, these students at Brown University not having the kind of holiday that I'm having. Oh God, so they didn't know if this was an attacker.
Hands.
They're hearing the thumps.
Get your hands. Just keep your hands up for us. Obviously there's something going on. We're here to help you. Just listen to what we have to say, okay? All right, breathe.
We were warned it would put us on our... It gave us a good buzz, but it didn't put us on our asses.
Get you out of here safely. Is this it? Is this the group?
If you have your bags, your phones, go grab it now. Quickly.
Go, quick, go.
Just another day.
Good job.
Grab your stuff. Hurry up.
Video obtained by the... How insane. This was the school shooting that happened at Brown University on Saturday night. The cops are busting into a room where about 20, a couple dozen students are sheltering in place, and they're hearing the knocks, and they don't know that it is the cops yet, and they're freaking out.
Police! Police! Providence police! Hands, hands, hands! Stand up, hands! Hands! Providence police!
Everybody's hands! Hands, 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 hands! Hands, hands, hands! Everybody get your hands! Hands, hands, hands! Hands, hands! Just keep your hands up for us. Obviously there's something...
But not the only mass shooting occurring in the last 24 hours. This one happening across the world. It might have happened tomorrow. Or yesterday. I don't know. Time zones, they fuck with me. How do they work? They're like magnets. How do they work? It was apparently a father-son combo, a targeted shooting of Jewish people at Australia's Bondi Beach. Multiple people dead. A person is in custody.
We are following another deadly mass shooting, this one in Australia, where police say 2 gunmen opened fire on Sydney's famous Bondi Beach, killing at least 11 people.
Oh, my redneck ass over here calling it Bondi Beach. It's apparently Bondi Beach.
One of the suspects also is dead. Another is in custody. NBC's Raf Sanchez is following the latest developments for us. Raf, what more can you tell us?
Well, Willie, Australian authorities are calling this a terrorist attack targeting the Jewish community as it was celebrating the first night of Hanukkah. Here's what we know. As you said, 2 gunmen opened fire with long guns. There are...
Put on your yarmulke.
Including one of the shooters. The second gunman is in custody in critical condition, and authorities are now investigating whether a third individual was potentially involved. Now, amid the horror, there was also heroism. There is a video that is a little difficult to watch, but I want to show it to you in just a second here. You see, if we have that video, you see the man in white there running up and have that video. You see the man in white there running up and tackling that suspected gunman. There is a struggle, and you can see he appears to wrestle what looks like a shotgun out of that man's hands. Now, the individual has not at this point been identified, but local leaders are hailing what they say were extraordinary acts of personal courage by people who just jumped in at the scene. It is very likely that that man saved some lives by appearing to disarm that gunman.
Wow, what a motherfucker!
9 people were taken to hospital. Among them are 2 police officers. Authorities are saying police were on the scene and engaging in a gun battle with these shooters within just minutes. Police are also saying that they found a car.
He's Ahmed and he owns a fruit store,
which does appear to contain improvised explosive devices. Now, the bomb squad there in Sydney is probing that vehicle. They are looking for more clues. They are looking for more details about the motives. And Willie, a massive police investigation is now underway, but we can already say at this point that this is one of the worst gun massacres in Australian history. Willie?
Just terrifying images there at one of the favorite places, not just in Australia, but in the world. As you say, a Jewish celebration, the first night of Hanukkah, some 1,000 people gathered there. And it just gives you chills, breathtaking to watch the heroism of that one man to disarm one of the gunmen, but not before, as you say, 11 people were killed. So where will this investigation, Raf, go now from here? You have one of the gunmen dead. You have one, as you say, in critical condition. There were improvised devices, bomb disposal units being dispatched there. Clearly, this was planned, a long time coming. What are the next steps here?
Yeah, so Willie, we are heading into the nighttime now in Australia.
Willie!
We have a massive crime scene along Bondi Beach now. Lots of potential areas for evidence, areas for clues. Police there will be looking at the firearms. Guns are quite unusual in Australia. It has one of the lowest gun death rates of any developed country. And that's partly, Willie, because there was a major gun massacre in Australia in 1996. It's called the Port Arthur
Willie!
massacre. More than 30 people were killed. And the Australian government responded extremely swiftly with a new wave of gun laws. It's difficult to buy weapons in Australia. There was an enormous national gun buyback. And that is part of the reason that this is just so shocking for people around the world, but especially in Australia, where gun violence is unusual. As you say, they have one of the suspected gunmen in custody. They are describing him as being in critical condition. We don't know if at some point they are going to be able to interrogate this individual to find out more about the planning, about the motivation here, but they will be scouring the social media accounts of the people that were involved. They will be looking at the weapons, and of course, they will be looking at that vehicle, which was found near the scene. It appears that those improvised explosive devices did not go off. We do not know whether the attackers tried to employ them during the attack or not. From what we can see from video at the scene, the two individuals who were dressed in black firing those long guns from a bridge, an elevated position down onto the crowds below. You can see one of the gunmen there on that bridge firing what appears to be a rifle after his...
Does he have some sort of mask on? Or is that just that's how his stupid fucking face looks?
His comrade was disarmed by that bystander, and there was a large police response, including armed officers, to that scene. But a massive crime scene.
It looks like he's got a piece of ham on his face.
At this point, they believe there is no further danger to the community, but police are out in force across the Sydney.
Are you sure he didn't have a piece of ham on his face?
Right now, Willie.
And on high alert, as you say. And as RAF reports, police now explicitly saying this is a terrorist attack targeting Jewish people during a Hanukkah celebration on Bondi Beach. Raf Sanchez will be back to you for more.
The cold cut killer. They have been identified as a father and son tandem.
Last night I announced that I had determined that it was a terrorist activity and made a declaration as such as 9:36 p.m. As a result of that declaration, we commenced Operation ARQUES, ARQUES, which is a joint counter-terrorism operation. That is New South Wales working very closely with our Commonwealth partners to ensure that we thoroughly investigate the circumstances of the incident yesterday.
Byronic, I have not been on for the last week. Welcome in. Good evening, darling.
As a result of investigations undertaken, I can say that we are not looking for a further offender. We are satisfied that there were 2 offenders involved in yesterday's incident. One is deceased. The second is in critical but stable condition in hospital at the moment. The offenders are a 50-year-old and 24-year-old male who are father and son. The 50-year-old is deceased. The 24-year-old is currently in hospital at the moment. As part of the investigation, we conducted 2 search warrants last night, one at Bonnie Rig and a second at Campsie. The 50-year-old male is a licensed firearms holder. He has 6 firearms licensed to him. We are satisfied that we have 6 firearms from the scene yesterday, but also as a result of the search warrant at the Campsie address. Ballistics and forensic investigation will determine this morning that those 6 firearms are the 6 that were licensed to that man, but also that they were used in the offence yesterday at Bondi. We will continue to investigate this matter thoroughly. It's important for the community to have the reassurance that New South Wales Police, working with our Commonwealth partners, will not stop until we understand the reasons behind this senseless incident and take any available action that we need to do. We always work closely with our Commonwealth partners to make sure that we keep the community safe.
Oh, I don't believe that. Parkourse, welcome in. Now that all you guys are here, we should totally get high. Carla! Welcome! I'm glad you did that. I didn't know if the the point redemption worked. Thank you. Tell me to change my bandana color. No, wait a minute. That doesn't have one. Tell me show a cat. Somebody tell me show a cat. Yeah, there we go. It didn't play any sound. I'm gonna redo them all. Like, they don't work the way they're supposed to. So I'm gonna redo all of them, but like for now. It's a Smokey. That's the content everybody came for. This long ass boy. Emo boy, welcome in. I'm JustinFREAKIN. We find out what that news be doing. Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. I also show kitties. We get high. He is a very long boy. His name is Smokey Bong. I have no idea why I would name him such a thing. Well, if you love cats, I got plenty of them. Let's get another one over here. That was Maynard James Kitten. I do not have 9 cats, though there are 7 in this apartment. But I don't have 7 cats. It's a lot of cats. A lot of cat action going on. There are 7 cats here, yes. And they're all pretty damn cute, I must say. Well, there are 7 cats in the immediate apartment. There are many other cats here, actually. There's the one-eyed cat. there's the really slick black cat. There's how many humans? There's 3 humans. Total cat count, I don't know. 15? 16? It's a lot of cats up here. There was a dog with 3 legs that greeted us when we got back. His name's Lucky. He's very cute. Anyway, I have a police chase. I have at least one. I have one good one. We're gonna watch at the end of the stream. Stick around for that. Let's go abroad. Trump threatening retaliation following a please make some coffee. I would love some coffee, actually. I thought about making it, but I did not have time. Apparently there was some sort of sleeper cell of ISIS attackers, and an attacker took out 2 U.S. soldiers.
A deadly attack on U.S. soldiers in Syria. U.S. military aircraft can be seen flying over Syria after President Trump vowed retaliation for what the Pentagon says was an ISIS attack. 2 U.S. service members and 1 American
6'7"
interpreter.
Cricks, really?
ABC News senior White House correspondent Selena Wang has more. Selena, what's the latest here?
Well, Andrew, these mark the first deaths of Americans in combat since President Trump started his second term. They also mark the first American military fatalities since the fall of Syria's dictator Bashar al-Assad, the first in that country in Syria of these American military fatalities. And the president yesterday, he pledged to retaliate against ISIS. Take a listen to what he told me.
Mr. President, will the U.S. retaliate against ISIS?
Yeah, we will. The new president of Syria is, as they told me, and I'm not surprised, he's devastated by what happened. This is an ISIS attack on us and Syria.
So what we know is that these 3 Americans who were killed, 2 U.S. soldiers and 1 U.S. civilian interpreter, they were ambushed.
6'7".
Counterterrorism operations against terror.
Apparently I don't do the inflection right.
Now, even though the U.S. has downsized its military presence in that country, about 1,000 U.S. troops still remain in the eastern part of the country to prevent ISIS from resurging. The group was declared defeated in 2019, but these sleeper cells, they do still carry out.
Were you not here with us the night we watched the South Park that explained it?
Mentioning that the new president of Syria is.
I don't have time to go
through. A month
it.
ago, that President Trump actually met with that new president at the White House, marking the first visit.
Apparently, you don't have a kid under like 12 in your life.
Of the former dictator.
Oh, okay.
This is a reminder that the country remains very dangerous and that there are still pockets of.
The country remains dangerous.
Selena Wang, thank you.
Well, if there weren't U.S. fucking forces in the fucking country, they wouldn't get attacked now, would they? Trump had on a snazzy new outfit. They talked about he promised retaliation. They didn't play the clip. Here's the clip. Oh, me too. I'm not around them.
So we mourn the loss of 3 great patriots in Syria. We know how it happened. There was an ambush, terrible. We also have 3 wounded. They seem to be doing pretty well. But we mourn the loss. These are 3 great people. And it's just a terrible thing. Syria, by the way, was fighting along with us. The new president of Syria is, as they told me, and I'm not surprised, he's devastated by what happened.
Was somebody knocking on the microphone?
On us and Syria.
What do you guys think about Trump's drip he got going on here with the scarf?
Their loved ones. Very, very sad.
Mr. President, will the U.S. retaliate against ISIS?
Yeah, we will.
And will the U.S. forces attack again?
We will retaliate. Thank you very much.
Who doesn't have loose teeth? Come on, it's America. Somebody keeps knocking. Come in. Against ISIS, apparently, it was a lone wolf, but it was also a coordinated ISIS attack all at the same time. We're all rooting for Helicopter Blade. Come on. I'm with you, brother. Light one up, tip one back for Helicopter Blade. Hey, I think today, if I am not mistaken, you guys are gonna fucking love this. Today is the anniversary of the shoe being thrown at George W. Bush. Man throws shoe at Bush. Let me see what date this happened on. Because it might have happened around this date. Shelly, thank you for the resub. And I saw it today, one of those things. December 14th, 2008. Today is the anniversary of the Bush shoe throwing.
Yeah. So what if the guy threw a shoe at me? No, I consider it an important step on the road toward an Iraq that can sustain itself, govern itself, and defend itself. But let me talk about the guy throwing the shoe. It is one way to gain attention. It's like going to a political rally and having people yell at
Dougie.
It's like driving down the street and have people not gesturing with all 5 fingers. It's a way for people to draw, attention. I don't know what the guy's cause is, but one thing is for certain, he caused you to ask me a question about him. I didn't feel the least bit threatened by it. These journalists here were very apologetic. They were, said this doesn't represent the Iraqi people, but that's what happens in free societies where people try to draw attention to themselves. And so I guess he was effective because he caused you to say something about it. Now, in terms of the agreements, this is a major...
He handled it well.
Is it the end? Absolutely not. There's more work to be done. And all this basically says is we made good progress, and we'll continue to work.
This was a low point in history.
To achieve peace. That's what we want.
We got lower.
And so, no, I'm honored to be back here. It's my 4th visit to Iraq, and as a sitting president.
Hey, I campaigned for him in 2000. I couldn't vote yet. I was 17. I was president of the Young Republicans, though.
Mr. Prime Minister, to have invited me here.
One more time. What's the shoeing? December 14th, 2008. So shit, he's on his way out. He's not even going to be president very much longer. At this point, he's only got a month and some change left.
Yeah. So what if the guy threw a shoe at me?
Yeah, he don't give a fuck anymore. He's got a month and some change left.
And on the road toward an Iraq that can sustain itself.
Ida, welcome in. Yeah, this is the anniversary. What is it? The 2008. That's the 17th anniversary of a guy throwing a shoe at George W. Bush. Oh, we all love the guy that threw the shoe. I think he got interviewed on multiple places, multiple outlets. Because he was a journalist, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But it has been 17 years. And I've smoked a lot of pot.
No, I consider it an important step on the road toward an Iraq that can sustain itself, govern itself, and defend itself. But let me talk about the guy throwing the shoe. It is one way to gain attention. It's like going to a political rally and having people yell at you. It's like driving down the street and have people not gesturing with all 5 fingers. It's a way for people to draw, attention. I don't know what the guy's called.
What a way to put that, to have them gesture at you with not all 5 fingers. He means get flipped off.
But one thing is for certain.
It's kind of eloquent.
You asked me a question about him. I didn't feel the least bit threatened by it. These journalists here were.
Is our children's learning?
Apologetic. They were, said this doesn't represent the Iraqi people, but that's what happens in free societies where people try to draw attention to themselves. And so I guess he...
Let's find out about him, shall we?
Shukran zero.
It was a shoe throw that was seen around the world. Baghdad, 2008, Iraqi journalist Muntazir al-Zaidi
Bush laughs about it.
President George W. Bush during a farewell press conference. A decade later, he's in the spotlight once again, this time in front of the camera. Muntazir is pitching for a seat in parliament at upcoming elections, running for an unprecedented alliance between Shiite cleric Muqtada al-Sadr and communists. His ambition, to defeat rampant corruption and to hold the United States accountable for the invasion of Iraq.
I will work to put on trial all those who were involved in the occupation of Iraq and ask the United States to apologize to the Iraqi people and compensate all the victims.
This would have been in 2018.
9 months behind bars for assaulting a head of state. After his release, he sought refuge in Lebanon. Now back in Iraq, he remains unapologetic about the act that shot him to prominence and saw him hailed as a hero by many around the Arab world.
I regret only having one pair of shoes to throw at him. Why should I be remorseful? What is there to regret? This man killed my people and caused tragedy.
He regrets only having one pair of shoes to throw.
Vietnam later took place in Iraq. Why should I regret anything? This man destroyed my country.
Placed low down on the list in Baghdad, it appears Muntazir has little chance of actually getting elected. But since announcing his candidacy, he's attracted the attention of news outlets from across the world, hoping his face will receive top billing rather than his feet.
I guess we should do Venezuela. Hold on. Let's talk about Venezuela before we move on here. Venezuela. The United States confiscated an oil tanker. Seems a little odd. Apparently, we're saying that like the oil is just ours now. We can just steal from other countries. That's a thing we do now. SNL had a great sketch about it. Like, we're the pirates now. We criticize Somalia, now we do what they do.
Tonight, new satellite images of that oil tanker seized by the U.S. off the coast of Venezuela, headed to a port in Galveston, Texas, following that dramatic raid by an elite Coast Guard team rappelling onto the ship from helicopters after a federal judge signed a warrant to seize it. The DOJ says the ship was part of an illicit oil shipping network supporting terrorist organizations, transporting sanctioned oil from Venezuela and Iran. And it comes as the Wall Street Journal reports, citing U.S. officials, that, quote, a U.S. special operations team boarded a ship in the Indian Ocean last month and seized military-related articles heading to Iran from China. All while the U.S. is escalating pressure against Venezuela's authoritarian leader, Nicolas Maduro, following a series of deadly strikes on alleged drug boats. President Trump considering potential strikes on land as part of his war on drug cartels.
I am pro-drug boat.
On Venezuela, it's land strikes on horrible...
My Lord, welcome in.
Breaking in drugs and killing our people.
While overnight...
Light one up for M. Lord.
Venezuela's opposition leader praised the Trump administration's moves after she received the Nobel Peace Prize.
President Trump's actions have been decisive to reach the point where we are right now, in which the regime is weaker than ever.
Presley, tonight, the president would not rule out seizing additional ships. Maduro's regime has called these actions piracy.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories.
Shut up, Tom Llama.
Or watch live on our YouTube channel.
We want Lester back. Lester. An ICE agent was caught laughing as a car hit a protester during a confrontation in Minnesota this past week.
Get out of the street! Get out of our city! Get the out! Leave! Get out of our city! Get out of our city! Out! Get out! Leave! You! Get the out! Leave! Get out of the leave! Get out of the street! Pepper spray in my eye. Go to Jerry. What you want to do? Go home. What is going on? Go forward. Walk the fuck home. Jason. Move out of the way. Move out of the way. Move out of the way. Move up. Move out of the way. Idiot. Hey, if you don't stop the TV, I will pull you out of the vehicle. I will pull you out of the vehicle. You need to move now. I gotta tell you again. Come on. Come on. You need to go now. Come on.
It looks butt-ass cold there.
Imagine this. You flew all the way to Minneapolis. Keep going. Hey, get back.
These dickheads just rolling into town causing a scene. But I mean, I love this shit because if they're wasting time stuck in traffic, they're not terrorizing people. Oh, well, I mean, other than the people that they're terrorizing while they're stuck in traffic.
Hey, watch where you spray that.
He's a German immigrant.
Ooh! Oh my God! Yeah! Throw more snow at them. Do you feel good? You pepper sprayed a grandmother. That's what that was just like. That was just a grandmother. The nephew of White House Press Secretary, Oregon gal, welcome in. Now that you're here, let me grab my lighter fell. Now that you're here, leftist, I agree, tires. The nephew of White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. His mom is responding after it's her ICE arrest. She was the one arrested by ICE. Caroline Leavitt's nephew's mom.
Thank you so much for joining me. I know that you were released only about 5 days ago.
Right.
And I can't imagine what these last several days, really month, has been like for you. So I'll begin with just, how are you holding up? What have you been going through?
It hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy because even when I'm back,
I bet a pair of wire cutters,
you know, it's not real that I'm still in there. But
would take a valve stem right off.
There's help of Todd and his.
Your your usual like channel locks. They'll have like wire cutters down below. Most of them do. And that should take a valve stem right off. If you have a pair of pliers, you could probably just twist it off. Throwing it out there.
Team.
I'm not endorsing it.
It's facilitated my coming back out into civilization, because in there it's not a civil. There's no rhyme or reason to their schedule. You know, it's exhausting.
You've been out for 5 days. Have you been able to see your son, reconnect with him, talk to him?
I have been able to FaceTime him, but I have not been able
Yes, everybody. Dykes work best.
to do what I had envisioned, which was go and surprise him and give him a hug and tell him that all of these things that they're saying about me on the media, I'm not sure if he's been allowed to watch television or not, that I'm a criminal and that I'm all of these other ludicrous things that they're alleging that I am. I don't know how any parent could sleep at night knowing that their son is enduring all of these, you know, harsh feelings.
How is it that you haven't seen him? What happened?
So Michael's still in school, and you know, vacation for Christmas is coming up, so I understand that school is very important, but I had planned to see him because it was a half day on that Thursday. And I called his father several times and he just didn't answer me. He said that they were going to get a haircut and then he was going to drive him down. So I had to check in with immigration and the attorneys before I could drive anywhere because I was put on a GPS system, which was just another ridiculous obstacle I had to overcome because I was afraid to cross state lines and be incarcerated all over again. So, you know, they set you free, but you're still, you know, having to jump through all these hoops and make sure that you're not breaking any laws that they don't even inform you about. They're kind of setting you up for failure in a sense.
Todd, have you ever seen a case like this?
Oh yeah, we totally have a lopsided system.
Absolutely unfounded what they do. Like, we have the bond hearing on Monday, and literally I have one of their own go against them. Our managing attorney worked at DHS for 7 years, Jason Thomas. So we just go through chapter and verse how this narrative is completely false, calling her a criminal illegal alien. They say that about everyone. Everyone's a criminal illegal alien or an illegal alien, and then when you peel back the onion, it's proved false every time. Every one of these cases we've had in the last months, same narrative, criminal illegal alien. They're claiming she's a criminal, yet she's never been arrested for anything other than this illegal, unconstitutional arrest on November the 12th. They claim it's a crime, and what it is when she was 16 years old, she got into her and another girl pushing each other over $8 at a Dunkin' Donuts. It's supposed to be private under the law. It's protected under privilege. It's not supposed to be disclosed anywhere. And yet that's what they keep regurgitating. And when Jason Thomas made the argument with me on Monday, the government's own lawyer, when we were done, after saying she's not a criminal illegal alien, that she's not a danger to society, that she's not a flight risk, the government's lawyer said 2 words: I stipulate. That means factually and legally the DHS lawyer, their spokesperson in court, agreed with everything we said. And then after, they have another press release calling her yet another criminal illegal alien, claiming that the Joe Biden judge, let her out of jail. But, Barack Hussein Obama is who started these removal proceedings, not Donald Trump. So since he has such a problem with everything Obama did, maybe you should stop these proceedings and dismiss him entirely, because this is ridiculous. They put her on an ankle monitor. They treat her like she's a sex offender. And then we showed up at 8 a.m. Friday morning threatening to sue them yet again for the illegal, brazen behavior. And then they take the GPS monitor off 20 minutes later.
Bruna, you were sent to a notorious facility. far from your son, all the way down in Louisiana. What were those days like for you? What did you see and experience inside?
I wouldn't believe it if I didn't see it with my own two eyes, if I didn't hear it with my own two ears. There are women in there that are pregnant. There are women in there that need a root canal, and they've been seeking medical attention for weeks. This isn't a day or a couple of hours. It is horrifying to experience something like that, because the only thing that I can think of is I'm so lucky that I'm healthy and I don't have any problems. I'm not diabetic, because those women, you know, they go to medical, they try to seek medical assistance, and they're there for hours. That's even if they get treated. It's horrifying. It's freezing cold in there. And my mom said, well, how is it cold, honey? You're in South Louisiana. I'm like, outside it may be warm. I'm not sure. We get to go out for a brief period and getting to and from the cafeteria area. But inside it is literally freezing. They make you order a sweater that takes 5 to 7 days for it to come. And then if it doesn't come, you have to wait again and put an order in. So it's just inhumane. It's cruel. I can't understand how people don't see that this is a problem, especially because I've been a law-abiding citizen my entire life. My mom has worked at a cleaning business her entire life to help me pay my legal bills, because, as I'm sure you know, they're not cheap by any means. So living in flight or fight mode for this long, 27 years, you know, and then being wrongfully accused of something without a shred of proof is just insane to me.
The family of your sister-in-law, Caroline Levitt, they've painted you out to be somewhat of a deadbeat mother, someone who doesn't spend much time with her son, who they haven't seen in quite a while. Is there any truth to that?
There is no truth to that. Is it true that they do paint me out to be that way? Of course, yeah. They keep me, you know, locked up in some kind of closet, you know, which is their narrative. You know, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I don't lose sleep at night over it. You know, I've made my peace with that. But for them to say those things and have my son think those things is something I would never do to them, you know? So we have 50% custody. I mean, I have thousands of pictures and videos of Michael and I together, of us going to Dave & Buster's or going to Sky Zone, you know, and his friends tagging along. It's funny because it's never a problem when I'm bringing the boys, you know, to play or to go places or to go to a Patriots game, or, you know, sitting floor seats at the Celtics games, you know what I mean? Like, it's cool when I do those things so I can give.
Was she like humble brag?
And now
this is heartbreaking.
Can't wrap my head around why anyone would make up these lies.
Almost as if they don't know.
They're just.
Do you believe that the Levitt family?
But they're still just fucking with her for no reason.
Detention and attempted deportation.
I didn't think so when I first got in there.
It could possibly be retaliation because the family doesn't like her, because Caroline Levitt doesn't like her.
You know, like how they knew.
They're that petty.
To pick up Michael from school, how they knew my address. My address is not, nobody knows my address. My mother hasn't been to where I live for this exact.
My mother doesn't know my address. What a weird thing to say. We were only halfway through that. I couldn't do any more of it. I'm sorry. Nothing wrong with her. I'm on her side. Dan Goldman got the question, Christy Nome. I think this was Friday, maybe Thursday. At the House Homeland Security Committee hearing that took place on Thursday.
The law. Do you agree that asylum is a lawful pathway to immigrate to this country? Yes or no?
There's an asylum program, yes, in place.
All right. So immigrants then with ongoing asylum applications are legally in this country, correct?
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Your question was?
Immigrants with ongoing asylum applications are legally in this country.
There are individuals in this country that have applications that...
And they are legally here because it's a lawful pathway, right?
It's a lawful pathway.
Okay, so if your department then deports anyone with an ongoing asylum application, you are violating the law, correct?
Joe Biden left us with.
I'm not asking about Joe Biden. I'm asking you a specific question.
Joe Biden.
Department deports anyone with an ongoing asylum application. You are violating the law. Is that correct?
It was greatly violated when they allowed.
I'm asking you.
People to come
I'm
in and
asking
granted
you.
Asylum applications.
Why are you filibustering? Why can't you answer the question? It's a simple question.
Your president.
If your department.
And your secretary.
Because Joe Biden.
With an ongoing asylum application, you are violating the law. Isn't that correct?
The asylum program was broken under the last.
Mr. Chairman, I will reclaim my time. She's not answering the question. But the obvious answer is that yes, if you follow a lawful pathway.
Oh, Maynard's on the run.
Is a lawful pathway. If you have an open asylum case, you are here lawfully. But the problem that we are seeing around the country is that you are not following the law. Don't tell us to change the law. If you don't like the asylum system, you change the asylum law. Bring it to us. We'll work with you. I think it needs to be changed. But you can't just decide that you're not going to follow the law, and asylum is a law, and deport people who have ongoing applications. Unfortunately, that is exactly what's happening. It's happening across the street from my office right in New York City. Numerous, thousands of people who have come to court appearances, have left them with open asylum applications, have been arrested. And then they've been shipped off and many deported. In September, one applicant was ripped away from his wife and small children after such a court appearance. And then this happened to his wife. Please play the video. No, it's not. It's not this one. All right.
War Machine.
Here it is.
I'm yours. Oh, come on, man.
Now, after this incident, your department issued a statement that said the officer's conduct in this video is unacceptable and beneath the men and women of ICE. Our ICE law enforcement are held to the highest professional standards, and this officer is being relieved of current duties as we conduct a full investigation.
He said duties.
You reinstated that officer and you put him back on duty. I sent you a letter and asked you what investigation was done and why was he reinstated. You did not answer that letter. So I'm going to give you an opportunity right here to explain to me that if that
Curiouser came and
was,
took
quote,
Maynard.
the men and women of ICE.
Big Ben.
Why did you reinstate him?
Sir, that investigation was completed. I can give you that investigation and the information that you would like.
Listen, I know you guys do not want to hear it. Oh, I don't have it. I must have, so like I had to redo everything. I've got a new hard drive. So I apparently loaded an old version. Let me. Sports cards. Mary is getting bathtub drinks. Now you guys don't want to hear it. But she can be my GOP mommy. Yeah, black is white, up is down. I love it, and he just walks back in. He's well trained now.
Well, I wrote you 2 months ago. Why haven't you given it to me yet?
I'm actually surprised that you haven't gotten it. I'm going to ask my staff about that.
Well, you shouldn't be surprised because generally speaking, you do not respond to us.
Thousands of your letters.
Now, the other problem that we are seeing all over the country is that your officers are wearing masks, are dressed in plain clothes, often going around without identification.
All of our officers are identified.
And I'm not asking a question. I introduced the No Secret Police Act to stop this. And we now have 113 co-sponsors so that they will not be masked and that they will.
You guys think I was just handed a bowl?
You say all of them are identifying themselves.
Nebulous
not
bowl
the case
just
because
came
last
floating
month
over here.
In New York City again, the NYPD officers were injured by your masked, plainclothes ICE officers after they were called from 911 by 911 as residents witnessed your officers pulling individuals out of their vehicles and chasing them down the street.
Fire resist.
I also asked
Progressive Squirrel, welcome in.
The NYPD officers injured by your officers. And you
didn't know about these NYPD
Sir, our
officers getting injured by ICE agents.
Time has expired.
I yield back.
I recognize gentleman from Texas, Mr.
He looks like a thumb. Send them all to The Hague. That's what I say. I've got Andy Dick talking about his smoking crack before his overdose. You're probably not going to be able to stick around for that one, are you? On Friday, Democrats, crack is definitely bad. Hold on.
I was on crack.
Right, right. Well,
on, was it Friday? Friday of last week, Democrats released a whole bunch of creepy ass pictures from the Epstein files.
Some of these photos are really disturbing, and I know we've put some out today. There are many others, and some of the other photos that we did not put out today are incredibly disturbing.
Today's batch of Epstein photos were secured by the House Oversight Committee, even though, like all House committees, right, it's under Republican control. The Republican majority's hand has been forced to some extent, both by the toxic politics of Epstein and quite deft maneuvering of the Democrats on that committee, including ranking member Robert Garcia of California. And Congressman Robert Garcia joins me now. It's good to have you in the program. I want to just follow up with the thing you said.
I'm glad Curiouser asked me if those people were underage. And I like that she brought that up because we need to talk about this. The Democrats, I guess, rightfully redacted the faces of just anyone they found in the files. But this was from a Hawaiian tropic. Like, this photo existed with, yeah, we know who all of them are. But like right-wingers are trying to make it like, see, the Democrats are trying to paint a narrative. No, the Democrats just blacked out everybody's faces that was in the file. But this picture did exist. It was a Hawaiian tropic contest, something or other that Trump was involved with. And I have the article somewhere.
Republican majority's hand has been forced to some extent, both by the toxic politics of Epstein and quite deft maneuvering of the Democrats.
Well, not necessarily that image being disturbing, but
Robert Garcia of California.
The one with Epstein in the bathtub is definitely disturbing.
Congressman Robert Garcia joins me now. It's good to have you in the program. I want to just follow up with the thing you said this morning, which I think has been haunting all of us all day, about some of these are very disturbing. And I wonder if you could just elaborate what you mean by that about disturbing, because we're talking about Jeffrey Epstein here.
Right. I mean, look, I think first what's important is obviously we received, this was just yesterday.
And then the condom one.
5,000.
The Trump condom.
From the Epstein estate. We were able to put out so far probably about 75 to 80 photos throughout the day today, many of which.
We're going to say that was Epstein and Bannon. I'm going to say that is the most disturbing photo.
Intention is to put out as many of the photos as possible while protecting, of course, the survivors.
That's pretty disturbing.
In the photos are just incredibly important.
Yeah, he's taking a bubble bath.
And our intention is to put out as many of the photos as possible.
Woody Allen and Steve Bannon talking. That's
survivors.
That in and of itself is pretty disturbing.
Are many photos of women and many photos that are disturbing and that need to be redacted and that we need to think through very carefully in how those are presented to the public. Because at the end of the day, the most important thing is that we protect the survivors. And I've personally met with numerous survivors, both individually and in groups, and this is critical to the investigation. But make no mistake, that beyond what folks have seen today,
Silent, welcome in.
Epstein was a sick man. Ghislaine Maxwell was a monster, and the harm and abuse that they have caused women and children needs to be exposed, and the powerful men that did that harm need to be exposed, and there has to be justice.
I want to be clear that from my perspective, I agree wholeheartedly, right? That
Curiouser is unimpressed
prerogative here that would
by the photos they're showing.
The protection of those who have been abused here. But I just want to get a clearer sense from you. Like, are you saying there is documentation of these abuses? That, like, in the photos there is documentary evidence of some of the things that Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell are accused of or convicted of doing?
There is, in the photos, there is clearly photos of...
She was told there was something incredibly disturbing, and she saw nothing incredibly disturbing.
Of women, a variety of different... there are hundreds and hundreds of photos that we've already seen, and as a reminder, we've only seen about 25,000 of the 95,000 batch. So we've been going through the whole production in batches, but of the 25,000 photos that we have seen, there are hundreds and hundreds of photos of women, of which some of those are...
Well, if your problem is disturbing...
and of which some of those are horrific in nature and certainly sexual in nature. And so that's the work that the team and the research team right now is focused on. And we're going to ensure that the public gets transparency, that we get the information out, and we're being very thoughtful about protecting those women. And again, we just got this yesterday.
Bannon with Epstein is pretty disturbing.
Transparency and the truth will get out.
And what is this picture? What is the picture sitting on his desk here? If you want to make coffee, I would love some coffee. Whatever. That's the tub pic? Is that the tub pic that I just showed? I don't think that's the same picture. That is disturbing. That is the most disturbing picture of them all. The look on that fucking creep's face.
Out. And right now, there is one person in the United States that has the power to bring justice to these women and to get the truth out, and that's Donald Trump. And he should release the files today.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for being a little clearer there. I really don't want to be prurient here. I don't want to, what you're saying is really true, but just, I think there's some sense, right, that people have that was any of this documented? Are there videos or pictures? And that's a horrific thing to contemplate, but also is part of the story here in terms of what this individual did, what the people around him may have done. We don't know. In terms of these files, these came from the estate. Now, I want to ask you something that was raised by my colleague Lisa Rubin in the first block of this program, which is she seemed to indicate that your committee has a lot of files and only a small sliver of them have been made public, that there are bank files, there are other things, and I can't tell how
the bank files is what we want to see.
Decisions being made by the chair, Jim Comer, how much those are working your way through production carefully? Like, how would you describe why we have seen what we've seen and why we haven't seen what we haven't seen, if that makes sense?
Absolutely. Look, I think first what's really important here is that every single document, photo, video that we have is because we have fought for them on the Oversight Committee as Democrats. And Republicans, every single step of the way, have tried to block the release. They try to stop our vote on the subpoena. Donald Trump brought in members of Congress to the Situation Room, tried to stop the vote from happening on the floor. And so Republicans, Mike Johnson, James Comer, at every single turn have dragged their feet and participated in this White House cover-up. Of what we currently have, we have one batch of documents from the DOJ. All of those documents were essentially already public record. So that was already given to the public. So there's nothing new there. Of the other documents that we have, much of what we have either is already in the public record, Democrats have already put out as a committee, and we still have not put out yet fully are the bank records. And I'll tell you why. We're working right now with our partners on the Senate Finance Committee, in both the Senate and the Financial Services Committee in the U.S. House. And we are carefully going through a complex system of documents, ledgers, bank statements that connect money laundering, we believe, possibly, and also information about who was paying who and where Jeffrey Epstein was receiving all of his resources from. And I'll note this one other thing, which is important. The Republicans only decided to subpoena 2 of the banks, Deutsche Bank and JP Morgan. We've asked for over 20 banks to be subpoenaed. So we need Republicans to join us and subpoena the 20 other banks where we want to get information from. All of that is going to be critically important in the weeks and months ahead. But I'll tell you, Chris, we're making really, really good progress.
So if there are images here, I mean, one thing that's striking to me is something that Andrew Weissman said earlier in the program. And this just pertains to, say, the birthday book, right? Which in some ways I think kicked off a lot of this. The Wall Street Journal is reporting about that. Am I right that nothing from the estate has ever come into the custody of law enforcement? That everything being turned over by the estate, including the photos you got, like this is the first time U.S. government representatives or anyone has gotten this information? Is that true?
We're actually not sure what representatives of the government or the DOJ may have that the estate also has. There's certainly a lot the estate has that, according to some of the DOJ, they do not have. Look, the birthday book, Donald Trump spent weeks saying it didn't exist, as we remember. Right. There have been comments from members of the DOJ and members of the administration that they weren't aware, obviously, of some of what the estate has. And so that is likely true, that there are documents and photos that we're releasing to the public, including possibly ones that we released today, that are not in the possession of the DOJ. But I also want to be very clear that what we've released and what we have is a tiny amount of production compared to what the DOJ has. From what we understand from talking to folks at the FBI as well as the DOJ, there's an enormous amount of documents, of records, of photos, of videos, and other materials in the possession of the Department of Justice. And so if we really want to solve this investigation and bring justice to the survivors, the DOJ is where the information is. And now we're going to collect it. If they choose to redact information or if they choose to not give us full information, we're going to get to the truth, even without the DOJ. But they need to do the right thing right now and release all the files.
All right, Congressman Robert Garcia, who sits on that oversight committee. Thank you so much. Very busy day, and I
release the files. All right, I was able to get the phone lines working. We can take phone calls again. Yay. Took a little bit. Let's go to a couple of different elections happened while I was off. A flip for the mayoral seat in Miami went from Republican to Democrat. Another House seat in Georgia flipped. This is causing Republicans to raise alarms.
Tonight, some state Republicans are sounding the alarm after the party just lost a special election in Athens. Last night, Democrat Eric Gissler flipped the District 121 seat, defeating Republican Matt Guest by roughly 200 votes. Gissler is now set to replace State Representative Marcus Wiedauer. Tonight, 11 Alive's Doug Richards has a closer look at the race.
Gissler, Wiedauer?
Moving forward.
Republicans at the state capitol drew the boundaries of the 121st House District to favor a Republican candidate. Tuesday, a Democrat surprised them.
Athens is the post.
I think that's going to happen
Georgia
more often than they would like to think.
We're against him. He was an underdog Democrat running against a Republican in a Republican legislative seat rooted in Watkinsville and part of Athens.
I talked openly about policies that I think are really nonpartisan for the most part, that appeal to everyone. And the people who listened it seemed to resonate with them.
Gisler ran on health care affordability, inflated grocery prices, and election integrity. Though Republicans easily won the district in 2024, Gisler squeaked past a Republican Tuesday.
It signifies the gravity of the situation that we're in right now. We're in a code red.
Republicans need to take heed, says Northwest Georgia District Chair Jackie Harlan. Her district covers Marjorie Taylor Greene's turf. The Republican Congresswoman says she plans to resign, resulting in a special election to replace her early next year.
There are rumblings that she is going to try to oust Mike Johnson from the speakership before she leaves. So that would be something that happens in like the next week.
Harling says too many Republicans want to replace Greene in next year's jungle primary.
You don't want to split the vote 20 ways. I appreciate everybody that wants to get involved. But the fact is, it could end up making a Democrat win this.
A special election presents an opportunity because there is lower turnout, and it really comes down to who can get their voters out.
Gisler says he plans to run for re-election next November, an election he knows will have many, many, many more voters than the election he won Tuesday. In Watkinsville, Doug Richards, 11 Alive News.
Meanwhile,
they brought up Marjorie Taylor Greene. She is facing an onslaught of attacks following her break with Trump, or so she says.
Welcome back to Takeout.
Fucking Major Garrett.
Nicole Killian on Capitol Hill. You talked to Marjorie Taylor Greene. First question, Trump and her. Take it away.
Yeah, that's right. Well, obviously, we've seen a lot of back and forth over these last couple of weeks between the president and Marjorie Taylor Greene. And of course, that intensified after Congresswoman Greene spoke to our Leslie Stahl for a 60 Minutes interview. Shortly after that, the president posted on Truth Social calling Marjorie Taylor Greene jilted. He went on to say that she is not America First or MAGA, and also said that her views are, quote, those of a very dumb person.
Well, I mean, they are.
How Congresswoman Greene responded to that.
I actually am starting to feel very sorry for President Trump, and people just don't buy it. It's actually a very poor reflection on him that he chooses to speak about me that way. People know who I am. They know what I've done.
So Greene went on to call the president's comments demeaning. She said that it is unfortunate that he spoke so harshly about
demeaning.
In that 60 Minutes interview, she talked about how some Republicans perceive the president, that they are terrified to step out of line. And she said that the president thinks that loyalty, unfortunately, is a one-way street.
What did she say to you about the politics of affordability?
Well, that was another issue, of course, coming on the heels of the president's speech in Pennsylvania just yesterday. You know, she said that she does not believe affordability is a hoax, something that the president has called that issue at times. And she said that the president should be more empathetic and change his tone. Take a listen. On the issue briefly of affordability, because you brought it up, the president recently gave himself a grade of A+++.
A+++.
Would you give the president?
I think it's hard for a lot of people to take. Look, electric bills have gone up. Everyone's bills have either stayed the same or are going higher. Grocery prices have not gone down. Everybody suffered from inflation that happened during the Biden administration. And I think the president needs to be aware that he's a billionaire, president of the United States, and you can't gaslight people and tell them that their bills are affordable.
Do you still believe that Republicans will likely lose the midterms? And if so, do you believe it will be over this issue?
I do believe at this time that Republicans will lose the midterms, and I think that's unfortunate. I very much wanted to be part of a Republican majority in Congress that solved problems for the American people.
So again, the Congresswoman standing by what she said in her...
You are the problem for the American people.
Still, as of now, thinks that Republicans could lose next November. She continues, though, to be a proponent of an America First agenda and says that this message of economic populism is the best way forward.
Also critical of Speaker Mike Johnson for failing to build consensus and allowing legislation to the floor to her satisfaction. Nicole Killian, thanks so very much.
One of Marjorie Taylor Greene's foes in the House also announcing that she will be leaving the House. She's going to be making a run for Senate in Texas. Do you think that she might finally be the one to pull it off? Jasmine Crockett announcing she is running for higher office.
Will she or won't she? That's the question Dallas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett is expected to answer later today. Now, the U.S. representative says she will announce whether she is going to run for U.S. Senate or for re-election in her House district. Let's talk to Trevor Sahaki about the details.
Texas Republicans are getting
Democrats who have spoken with CBS News Texas tell us they think Representative Crockett is going to run for the U.S. Senate seat. But it is an uphill battle.
Oh, she totally is. Like
statewide office in
I'm sorry, I got the non-announcement one.
Texas Republicans are getting very, very nervous about what is shaping up to be a brutal and strange primary for U.S. Senate in their party. You see, Senator John Cornyn, right, who's served for over 20 years, is now facing a tough race for re-election. He's marred by low approval ratings, but crucially, he is fighting off a primary challenge, two of them actually, one from the state's far-right Attorney General Ken Paxton and Republican Congressman Wesley.
And the dude that I thought was Bobby Lashley. I'm sorry, Bobby Lashley.
Wesley Hunt. Now, on the Democrat,
Wesley Hunt, Representative Wesley Hunt.
Crockett has just thrown her hat in the ring, announcing her candidacy hours before the state's filing deadline yesterday. She will now face off against just one primary opponent, young, charismatic state representative James Tallarico. That's after former Congressman Colin Allred, who ran in the last cycle, ended his Senate campaign yesterday to run for a new House seat instead. Joining us now is Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett of Texas. Congresswoman, it's good to have you on. This was, as far as I could tell, there was even reporting saying that you had kind of like twin forms filled out and twin cashier's checks about whether filing for the House or the Senate race. So this came down to the last second. Like, take me through what pushed you over.
Yeah, so I'll tell you that I have been telling a lot of people that I was closer to a yes than a no. But I was really concerned. Number one, I was concerned about Democratic unity. I talked a lot about the fact that I really wanted us to have a very strong ticket. And instead of kind of having our star power put into one race, I wanted to see if we could somehow make it to where you could have an option for governor, say if you had nothing but state experience. See if we could have an option for, Senate. See if we could have lieutenant governor, attorney general, and really give different parts of the state of Texas someone to vote for and be excited about. And it's kind of hard to get around a state of 30 million people. We saw that Beto did it. He went to 254 counties, but Beto also literally worked himself into a
Sounds like she's calling him Beto.
More than once. And so I didn't feel like it made sense that we should just kind of have, maybe one big kind of race. But hey, at the end of the day, I thought that once the Supreme Court did what they did, that we absolutely needed to do something about getting the right person into the Senate. And it was interesting listening to your previous conversation. The oversight for the Senate, for the Supreme Court, it comes from the Senate. So those are the things that I was looking at, as well as my actual experience on the federal level, as well as being an attorney, and knowing that we need to change.
Needs
the Senate.
butter
If we're really
insults.
going to get things like voting rights, if we're going to get reproductive access, if we're going to get health care, we've got to change what's happening in the Senate.
So there's a bunch of stories today about how your entrance into the race is welcome news for John Cornyn. There's like anonymous quotes from his staffers saying like, we're thrilled. There was people citing the fact that the Senate campaign arm of the Republicans had commissioned a poll that showed you ahead in the primary, that they were essentially trying to kind of pull you into the race, with the logic being that you're perception and coding among Texas voters is as too anti-Trump or as too sort of polarizing to plausibly win a statewide election in a state that Democrats have, as we all know, not won a statewide election in like decades. What's your response to people who say, even people who are sympathetic to you who are like,
I was a young whippersnapper.
I could win like 8 to 10% of Republican voters necessary to win this race?
What's her name was the governor. She was a Democrat.
That we have.
Ann Landers or some shit.
What we know is that in this last election, approximately 51% of eligible voters in Texas voted. What we've not had is someone that could energize our base. That is abysmal. We are always one of the lowest voter turnout states. When you look at when we ended up getting 2 Democratic senators in the state of Georgia, just know it was because they got their voter participation up. And so that's what we plan to do. What we were testing for was we wanted to know, can I excite people that normally don't vote? And the answer was simply yes. In addition to that, we looked at Beto's results because that is the best election for us to look to.
Yep.
It was a Trump, response type of election.
Yep.
And ultimately, we know that he won black and brown folk over overwhelmingly. And so am I in polling.
So in the Warnock and Ossoff examples, which do strike me as the closest model, right? In both those cases, it was a bit of both and though, right? They definitely juiced turnout, and they definitely got high levels of turnout, but they also did win crossover voters. I mean, there's a pretty significant slice, and particularly if you look at those precincts and those Atlanta suburbs, particularly. So it does seem like both of those are necessary, particularly when you're looking at the numbers.
I really fucked that one up, didn't I, working? Yeah.
Numerically, it's like it's not an easy place to win.
No, I think that you're absolutely right when you say that. But I think what we've got to look at is that when you look at, say, the district in Tennessee and the fact that Trump had won by a little over 20 points, yet somehow it swung to a single digit race, then we know people that voted for Trump. Well, some of them are regretting those votes. We just saw an election today down in Miami where a Republican was outed, and we know that they hadn't been able to win in 30 years down in that area. We also know what happened.
I think ousted is more the word. Outed means something else.
What happened in Georgia where they were able to get 2.
But a Republican getting outed is
the reality.
Also pretty common.
Anyone who is super in love with Trump would ever vote for me or any other Democrat. That is just the reality. I think what it is who is going.
I don't know about that, Jasmine. I think because we did see in New York, we saw the AOC Trump voter. That was a thing. And it's people like authenticity. Like, you can hate Trump, but he's authentic. Like, he's saying what he actually means. And I think, voters reward that.
To talk to people and make them understand that they will fight for them. That is why you have Mondami Trump voters. That is why you have AOC Trump voters. That is why you had Obama Trump voters. Let me tell you something.
Oh, maybe that was the point she was making.
However, from his rhetoric against the president in the Oval Office, he stood there and he said what he said about him being a fascist, yet he was able to win those voters. So Democrats that believe the only way that you can win is by being soft and sounding like a Republican, that is not true. What people are looking for are people that are tough and are fighters and are going to fight for them, fight for better health care, fight for access to jobs, fight for education. That is what they're looking for, and that's what it is that I have to offer.
Yeah, I want to you mentioned this, so I want to bring it up. In Miami, Miami had a mayoral.
She's good.
A runoff. That city has not had a Republican, has not had a Democratic mayor, I think, since
30 years.
Nearly 30 years. The last election in 2021, the incumbent ran for a second term and he won by 75-15, essentially. So tonight, the Democrat is going to win by between 10 and 20 points when all is. I mean, so there is something happening in the country right now. I want to play very quickly your ad that I thought was pretty interesting. This is the first ad I've seen from your very new campaign. Take a listen.
She's a very low IQ person.
Somebody said the other day she's one of the leaders of the party. I said, you got to be kidding.
Now they're going to rely on Crockett. Crockett's going to bring her.
Crockett.
This is obviously a shot across the bow.
Eggs.
Going to be a campaign about Trump. Do you think Trump that Trump is going to figure prominently in this one way or the other?
I think so. I think it's hard to say that he's not. I mean, when you see election wins like the one that you just referenced, obviously it's Trump's policies that are on the ballot. Right now, we have a senator that is deciding.
Look, there's this weird thing that I never thought that would actually happen that has materialized in my adult life in politics. And it's that we keep going back and forth. We as a country keep going back and forth. It's like we give the Democrats power and then nothing changes in one term, so we punish them and give the Republicans power, and we just keep swinging back and forth, and it's not working. Like I don't know what to say. It gets us further and further in the hole.
Decided that he won't fight for Texans, but instead he's decided
because
that he
if both parties are just trying to uphold the same system.
We are one of the largest trade states in this country, in this nation, and unfortunately, we have somebody that will not go up against the president to protect our people that are doing trade in Texas when it comes to the tariffs. Or we can talk about the record-breaking number of farmers and ranchers that are filing for bankruptcy, and we do everything bigger in Texas, including agriculture, and he's not fighting for them. So I think right now it's just going to come down to the basics. Who's going to have your back? And the answer is Jasmine Felicia Crockett.
Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, a new entrant in that U.S. Senate race. We'll be right back.
Her initials are JFC. Jasmine Felicia Crockett. Jesus fucking Christ. I love it. I would totally embroil in embroil. I saw it on the captions, like that's it. Unrobe, yes, media winch, unrobe. Oh my god. Alright, we're done with politics for tonight. Oh, let's do this. Our boy, Pete, what's his name? No, it's not Pete. It's not Pete. The reporter in it, I'm probably too high. Ironic. I'm not like to say I'm not high enough about this. I know more weed probably not fix my brain. Phil Williams. I called him Pete. Our boy Phil Williams in Nashville been outing some Nazis. I played the video a couple weeks ago about the one Nazi that went on the chat roulette sites. Well, he got completely deplatformed, and it's been a glorious thing to watch.
An attorney for a national civil rights organization is celebrating recent defeats for a neo-Nazi group that stirred up trouble here in Nashville and hopes this is a sign of more to come. Good evening, everyone. I'm Rory Johnston.
And I'm Carrie Sharp. The latest blow for the so-called Goyim Defense League came when its websites were recently taken down following News Channel 5's confronting hate investigation. Still, that is not stopped.
I asked Curiouser. We had the other half of the hot cocoa. I asked her if she wanted to do it. We decided against it. Probably for the best.
Stopping the neo-Nazis from trying to make a comeback.
News Channel 5 chief investigative reporter Phil Williams spoke with an attorney who's leading the charge to hold the group responsible for its actions. And Phil, he thinks your investigation is what helped put this group on the defensive, right?
That along with his group's own efforts, including a new lawsuit filed just today. Just like it did with the Klan and other neo-Nazi groups, the Southern Poverty Law Center has now set its sights on neo-Nazi leader John Minotti.
Go SPLC.
These mugshots show 3 3 GDL members who were convicted on criminal charges just in the past year for their activities here in Nashville.
Well, first of all, congratulations, because what you did is knock him off of what is the most common domain, like the .com, right?
Scott McCoy, the deputy legal counsel for the Southern Poverty Law Center, is talking about our investigation of neo-Nazi John Menadio and his Goyim Defense League.
What's up, man?
Hey,
how are you?
What's up? Yeah, how are you?
Good, man. How old are you?
10.
Awesome, man. That investigation recently revealed how Menadio was going into video chat rooms where children often hang out, berating children of color while trying to recruit white kids, urging them to get guns and to get ready to kill. We now know that after News Channel 5 investigated.
Should I go into these chat rooms with the kids and tell them about safe sex and safe drug usage? And War Machine's like, no. Like, go in, like, you know, you want to stay well hydrated. You want to test your shit. Make sure you're getting pure shit. You want to know who you're getting your drugs from, kids. And we just go out here doing, like, I did. I went out here and just did, like, fucking lines people were putting out for me without knowing what it was. But it's a different time.
It's reached out to the companies providing services for Menadio's websites to ask if his activities violated their rules. It was the domain registrar that yanked his .com domains, taking those websites down.
Deplatforming these folks from things like .com, .org, .net, which are the big ones, right, is actually a really meaningful thing to do. Because what we're worried about is them having a broad platform in order to, traffic in this hate.
Hopefully, we get our website back. Obviously,
you got to make them go to like .monkey for it.
Menadio was soon back online.
Do you avoid in public?
Even continuing to interact with children, this time using an obscure web domain that, by his own admission, was harder for people to find.
And the more obscure the domain name is, the more obscure the platform is, the harder it is, to be found, honestly. And also it's worthwhile because it makes them expend time and energy rebuilding what they had before.
And Menadio has since complained in a Telegram post that he had 3 accounts gassed on X, what used to be Twitter, but that he would be back soon with an under-the-radar account, which Scott McCoy noted means he has to start over.
It is a game of whack-a-mole, let's be honest. I mean, it is just a nature of the modern internet. It is very expansive.
Speaking of which, follow JustinFREAKIN on all the platforms.
To host this kind.
I get banned on shit a lot.
But it does make a difference.
Now, what I've heard from some of John Menadio's followers is, well, you're anti-First Amendment, you're anti-free speech. What's your reaction to that?
I believe in the First Amendment, and absolutely it's out there.
Flo, welcome in.
This is when their First Amendment speech crosses over into conduct and incites conduct, and that's when there's a problem.
In the summer of 2024, the Goyim Defense League was involved in a violent attack on a downtown bar employee, as well as a nighttime assault on a young Jewish man. This year, GDL member Ryan Scott McCann from Canada was convicted and sentenced to almost 4 years in prison for those assaults. Louis Edward Dunn from Arizona was indicted for his role in the assault on the Jewish man and is awaiting trial. David Aaron Bloyed from Texas was convicted for his online threats against Nashville DA Glenn Funk and sentenced to 3 years in federal prison. And GDL member Travis Keith Garland.
Oh, we want the funk.
Guilty to trespassing at Nashville's Jewish.
Gotta have that funk.
He was sentenced to 11 months, 29 days in jail.
Is his gun out?
Yeah, he's gonna shoot me. He's gonna shoot me. I'm recording.
That stems from a separate incident where Garland tried to force his way into Nashville's Gordon Jewish Community Center.
Wow.
By costumes.
We want them to be punished for what they did, the conduct that they did to our client.
Now, the Southern Poverty Law Center has filed a civil rights lawsuit on behalf of the bar employee, hoping to make Menadio and his crew pay for their conduct.
Good.
Recently ruled that the case can proceed.
And so now we move forward into discovery, where we get to take their
his shirt said "Whites Against Replacement," and had the first letters highlighted where it said "War."
Positions, and we get to seek information from them and other things to learn more about what they did and to support the claims that we're bringing.
Add to that a new lawsuit that SPLC filed over the anti-Semitic incident at the Jewish Community Center.
Warlord.
Part of an effort to send
Good evening, my friend.
This kind of hate has no place in America. That second lawsuit was filed just this afternoon. It accuses the group, including Menadio and another prominent GDL figure, Paul Miller, of conspiring to violate the rights of area Jews with that incident at the Jewish Community Center. Ironically, Menadio and Miller are now engaged in a major feud with each other, giving each other a dose of the hate that they've inflicted on people who don't look and think like them. Of course, we'll keep following both of these lawsuits as they make their way through the courts.
Kinsai, welcome in. Bill Williams always knocking it out of the park. Okay, I'm going to go get myself a cup of coffee. When we come back on the other side of the break, most of the stories are pretty fun. I've got a plane landing on a car on the highway. A man was attacked with bear spray during an attempted Facebook robbery. Andy Dick said he smoked a little crack before he had an overdose. There was this mistress. She was trying to get away from her lover's wife and almost fell out of a 10th floor window, and we've got video of it. We're going to find out why Bonnie Blue is facing 15 years in jail. And after we get done with the news, we're going to go to Twitch and Kick, and we're going to watch a police chase, and we're going to listen to music just like old times. So I'll be back on the other side of the break. Huh. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have one fun before you hit the sack. I'm JustinFREAKIN.
All we're establishing is this guy's wicked sick aesthetic.
Not high enough for this shit.
I guess I gotta thank Matt Walsh for introducing me to JustinFREAKIN.
Hey there, y'all. We're about to get stupid, locked into what that news beat doing. Fu Manchu and a slick bandana, colder than ice, smoother than Santana. Audio, video, chat and call. Right wing nut jobs haunt the halls. What you wanna watch? Hey, what you think? And there's only one choice. It's JustinFREAKIN.
The guy's, he's a formidable voice in the call.
Light one up and tip one back. It's a right to be high. Let's grab a snack. It's fucking news, quick panic, attack, and play your cards right and get a titty slap. Jump in Discords, have some fun. The man will talk to everyone. Get high and try to debate. When shit pops off, chat thinks it's great. What do you think you're doing? Join the troll patrol. Wherever discourse is brewing, he gives it that southern drawl.
So let's go ahead and bring in Justin. Hey Justin, how's it going, brother?
First of all, I want to say you're poser South. I'm in Alabama. I'm the real South.
Okay, all right. So why don't you tell us what it takes to be a man?
Well, I don't know. I'm in Alabama and I'll fuck a man in a dress. Why won't you fuck a man in a dress? Are you that insecure that you won't fuck a man in a dress?
That's fantastic. So you're okay with that, right?
Yeah. Why wouldn't I be?
Right-wingers are morons.
Like one and hit one more click before we hit the set an alert when that shit goes live. Social fucking support and hit subscribe. Light one up and take a hit. He does no harm, but it takes no shit. He's the last one standing when the ship is sinking. Let's take another rip for JustinFREAKIN.
Light one up, tip one back. I'm JustinFREAKIN.
Not high enough for this shit.
We live in turbulent times. The media is full of deception, conspiracy theories, and fake news. Now, more than ever, it is important to ensure you're getting information from a source that's freaking reliable.
I'm Justin Mullins, and this is the Freakin' News.
Get a breaking or interesting story with a humorous twist in about a minute weekdays, 8 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, BitChute, Odyssey, and more.
Sorry it took me a little bit longer there. She told me she got her cones in the mail. They came, and I thought she said her comes. You know, like, what are comes?
I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth. I'm going to give you the blowjob of your life. Then I want you inside of me.
I don't know if they were raw, so once again feeding into like she got the cums. Packaging very, very much said raw on it. I'm sorry. I am like I'm a child. Down with the cums. I mean, that's why Bonnie Blue is facing 15 years in prison. In Bali. She's facing 15 years in prison in Bali.
British adult content creator Bonnie Blue has been causing chaos in Bali. She travelled there during schoolies in search of barely legal Aussie men after our own government refused her a visitor's visa. I'm Carly Smith, senior reporter for Daily Mail in Australia. I've been covering Bonnie's crazy antics in the Indonesian holiday island, where she was recently arrested under suspicion of contravening the country's strict morality laws. It's understood she was arrested after allegedly making pornographic material. Police raided a studio in Badung and seized several cameras, condoms, sexual enhancement pills, USB drives, 19 items of clothing labelled Schoolies Bonnie Blue, 9 pink necklaces, and a blue pickup truck. The 26-year-old, whose real name is Tia Billinger, was arrested in a raid on Friday. She was alongside a group of nearly 20 Australian and British nationals. The 14 Australian tourists were aged between 19 and 40 years old.
I've got one of her gangbangs.
In Bali, they
cool in my book.
Some of them even covered their faces using McDonald's paper bags. They were interviewed by authorities in Jimbaran near Kuta on Monday. The Australians were released on the same day
near Kuta
on Friday, but Bonnie was not allowed to leave until Saturday morning. It's understood she is hiding in her villa somewhere near Canggu. None of the group has been charged, but their passports have been confiscated. A Balinese immigration official told Daily Mail this week that the 14 Australians had been interviewed as witnesses and would likely be allowed to return home this week. Bonnie, 2 British men and 1 Australian man will be interviewed by police and immigration officials sometime on Tuesday or Wednesday at the Jimbaran location. The immigration official confirmed that Bonnie had entered the country on a visitor's visa. If prosecuted and found guilty under the law, Bonnie faces up to 15 years imprisonment in Indonesia and fines of up to 6 billion rupiah, which is approximately 541,000 Australian dollars, which are the maximum penalties. The trip was advertised on Bonnie's social media as a chance for recently graduated Australian men who might be travelling to Bali for schoolies to come and meet with her.
For schoolies?
Aimed at barely legal teenagers were advertised in Bali because she had been refused entry to Australia, where she was hoping to attend the more traditional destination of the Gold Coast.
So she wanted to corrupt some 18-year-olds.
The kind of traditional end-of-year trip taken by recently graduated Australian students, where they go to somewhere like Bali.
I mean, I don't know. We complain about incels. Is what she doing really that bad?
Gold Coast or Fiji to kind of let their hair down after finishing year 12 as a way of kind of relaxing and partying a bit before they end up going to university after the summer holidays. It can get pretty raucous and is usually pretty booze-fueled. Bonnie's trip to Bali had kind of created a bit of an uproar before she even set foot on the island. Speaking on the Kyle and Jackie O show back in November, a rival OnlyFans star warned her not to travel to the island and undertake any sex work because it's illegal there.
Now, hang on. I think what...
Maybe I'm just a liar.
Bonnie, are you...
Her stage name is Bonnie Blue.
You're
gonna do sex work in Bali, a country or a city in Indonesia where sex work is illegal?
OnlyFans star based in the Gold Coast, Annie Knight, and her friend, a British OnlyFans star, Lily Phillips, were appearing on the radio show, and Kyle and Jackie O had Bonnie call in as a bit of a surprise to the girls. Created a bit of a confrontation between them where they kind of discussed how their previously good friendship had fallen out.
Is there anything you want to say?
She likes it a little too rough for my liking. She likes to be slapped around, spit on and stuff. I'm not into that. Like, I'm into like a loving gangbang. I want everybody to be like, you know, all hugs and kisses and shit.
Hey, Annie to Bonnie.
Just that I hope you're doing well and I hope you're happy. And yeah.
It's funny though, because you say you've got nothing to say, but your social media says Bonnie Blue is a liar. Bonnie Blue is not doing schoolies.
Because you're not, Bonnie.
I'm 100% doing schoolies.
Bonnie, you're in Thailand right now.
She is 100% doing schoolies. That sounds horrible.
Thailand, we know. Julian Woods has been posting for weeks about
Bali,
Thailand. No,
I'll confirm the facts. It's my body and I know exactly where I am. The bus is in Australia, so am I fluid. But I will be in Bali schoolies and I am remaining in Bali for schoolies.
With Bonnie facing serious consequences if she is found to have broken Indonesian law, I reached out to Annie Knight to get her thoughts on her former friend's current situation in Bali. In an emailed statement, Annie told me, "I did try to warn her of the consequences of filming pornographic content in Bali while I was on the phone to her on the Kyle and Jackie O show. She heard my warnings and chose to ignore them, so it's hard to feel sorry for her. She made her bed and now she's lying in it. It's not the smartest business decision, but I guess everyone makes mistakes." Ironically, when Annie and Bonnie were still mates, they travelled to Fiji together during schoolies in November 2024. It was there that they also had a bit of trouble with immigration. They were tipped off to the fact that Fijian police may be on their way to where they were staying to possibly deport them from the country for undertaking work outside of their visitor's visa. Amid her fallout with Bonnie, Annie Knight has joined forces with British OnlyFans star Lily Phillips. Lily has her own thoughts on Bonnie.
Me and Bonnie, we're not friends, no.
Yeah, no, we were friends, and then, yeah, unfortunately, some things...
Seems a little catty.
Forgive, and now we're not friends.
Yeah. The new best friend pair have been seen on nights out together to coincide with Australian schoolies this year.
I think students... Is it, like, am I getting that right, that schoolies means students?
Yeah, where Bonnie has left a hole. Bonnie has also recently earned the wrath of another British OnlyFans star.
She's fucking schoolies that are in between high school and college. Schoolies.
Arabella Mia told us that she has the energy of a Dementor, which is a reference to creatures in Harry Potter who guard the prison of Azkaban and suck the happiness out of human beings, leaving them filled with nothing but despair.
Well, in Europe, like, dreaming's a little different.
Already earned the attention of Balinese police over her newly acquired bang bus. Bali police confirmed to the Daily Mail last Wednesday that her newly unveiled bang bus a rickety single cab utility vehicle that online commentators have somewhat...
Okay, so specifically...
The root ute hasn't been...
Kids partying after they graduate high school is a schoolie.
Altered, they say, when it was spray painted that dark blue colour that you can see today. Bonnie had been using the Bang Bus to travel to party hotspots on the island, where she was hoping to pick up those aforementioned barely legal Aussie guys. And she kind of documented the whole thing online, so it was pretty hard for people to miss.
And nothing wrong with it. What's she doing wrong?
Pictures of this blue Bang Bus, together with the caption, "Bali schoolies, your taxi will be waiting at the airport for you tomorrow." According to government documents, the vehicle in question is actually registered as being white, and the paperwork has never been updated to say that it's blue, which is actually illegal in Bali. We actually revealed that
oh my God,
also hasn't been paid since 2023, which is a really big no-no.
Oh no!
If a vehicle colour doesn't match up with its STNK, a vehicle registration certificate which must be carried in the cabin at all times, it can result in a fine of up to 500,000 rupiah, or about $46 in Aussie terms. Or, at worst case scenario, it could actually result in 2 months in prison. Now, Bonnie's future hangs in the balance. She may face jail time, but it is more likely that she will simply be deported for misusing her visitor's visa. A Bali immigration official said they
apparently that's what happened.
How to handle Bonnie's case.
He's been banned.
It is actually being handled by the immigration.
Had to pay a small fine.
We understand that the police are also still involved. We will be deepening the investigation to check her activity during her time in Bali and work jointly with police, they said. Daily Mail has contacted the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade here in Australia for comment.
Are there any fans of 80s and 90s comedian Andy Dick in the chat? Oh God. We might have some wild breaking news. Apparently 2 people have been found dead at Rob Reiner's home. I don't know if that is Rob Reiner himself. You've never even seen Andy Dick? Really? How did you... He was everywhere in the 90s, it seemed. And apparently he smoked some crack with a stranger before he OD'd.
I was on crack.
Right. Scary moment caught on camera. People rushing to save comedian Andy Dick's life as he suffers an overdose on the stairs of a Hollywood building. The comedian says he smoked crack with a...
Oh, speaking of Mike Pillow, he is running for governor of Minnesota, if you guys missed that. Mike Pillow running for governor of Minnesota.
Stranger before what appears to be an overdose. Fox 11's Phil Schuman, he's following growing concerns about his struggles and substance abuse. It sounds like he's lucky to be alive.
That's for sure. And speaking to TMZ from his Hollywood home, the 59-year-old comedian and actor admitted he met a man on the street who offered him the drug. Dick said he accepted, claiming he, quote, doesn't mind using crack occasionally. When asked about his condition, he responded,
somebody just came up to him on the street, was like, hey, would you like some crack, Andy Dick? And Andy Dick's like, sure, I'll smoke some crack, stranger I just met.
Sarcastically, he's 100% fine.
Doesn't it look like I'm 100% fine? 110%. And he was on the sidewalk, and I'm like, I'll sit with you. And then he whipped out, I'm sorry, but crack. And I'm like, you know what? I might need a little bit of that. I wanted to see what he was doing. And also, I don't mind doing a little crack every now and then.
So this is an interview obtained by...
You don't mind doing a little crack every now and then.
Dick, speaking from his home in Hollywood, again said he's fine, admitted to the drug use. The latest in a long line of incidents that have led to him being in and out of rehab and occasionally jail.
Is he okay? Hey. Andy. Andy, buddy. Hey, Andy, wake up.
So this is that video that we showed you earlier. This is Dick slumped on the stairs with his glasses on the ground from yesterday afternoon. Witnesses say his friends ran up to him. You heard him try to revive
Is
him.
that Jeremy Piven trying to wake up Andy
That's
Dick?
the drug that counteracts
Yes, I do want some
overdoses.
crack.
In an interview this afternoon,
She just brought me some crack.
who has treated
Andy Dick is kind of too old to be doing crack, but however, he's Andy
this is
Dick.
just a very dangerous reminder of the power of drugs. And
This is Christmas crack. I've just been
The
handed.
drug itself becomes synonymous with survival. So all the other priorities in
Great with coffee.
family, friends, work, even your own actual physical survival takes a lower priority to the pursuit of the drug. And they
I mean, that's hard to understand for people that haven't gone through.
Did we have to bring Dr. Drew in on this?
So we reached out to Andy Dick's representatives for comments. We didn't get a response, but there are quotes from one of his representatives saying, oh, he was just drinking, that he's fine. And that was before that new video from TMZ. So, you know, this is the kind of story that
That's
TMZ
sad.
does. And
Yeah,
then,
22 is the proper age for
conversation with
crack
Dr.
use.
Drew was really fascinating because, you know, he's an expert on all of this.
Right.
And for someone who's not an addict, it's hard to understand, you know, the power of the drugs and alcohol. And he's
Literally
failed-
changes the human being.
Yeah, and
it's an unrecognizable person. It's you aesthetically, you physically, but your actions say differently.
Right. Even though you know
I was on
on
crack.
one level that it's wrong.
Right.
You know, this may not end well.
Everyone should do more crack. This crack is amazing.
Continues on down this path. Of course not. Did he actually go to the hospital? Or
They
was it-
said no. They said
Interesting.
no.
Okay, so the Narcan. I mean, this is
Narcan works,
It
but-
works, and it's amazing that somebody had it out there. Thank
Yeah.
goodness, right?
Wait, they Narcaned him? Does it work for crack? I thought Narcan was for like opiates. I thought it was for heroin, Oxycontin and shit. Does it work on speedy drugs? Curious, are you still out there? Does Narcan work on speedy drugs? I didn't think it did. Yeah, it's for opiates. Krell, welcome in. Huh. Oh, once again, we've got breaking news here. 2 people have been found dead at Rob Reiner's home. This is Meathead from All in the Family, a director of many classic movies. Yeah, just had the second Spinal Tap movie come out. So all we know is death investigation is underway. We don't know if he was involved. It's a pretty big deal if Rob Reiner has passed away. He's pretty legendary. We don't know yet. 2 people are dead at Rob Reiner's Los Angeles home. We don't know if Reiner is one of them. This is like currently breaking. Directed When Harry Met Sally, a fucking shit ton of other movies. I-95 in Florida was the site of a plane crash landing on top of a car.
I-95 east of Orlando, a small plane crashing onto the highway and right into a car. And remarkably, the driver and the people on the plane survived this. Here's Victor Akendo from Florida tonight.
Tonight, the terrifying moment on I-95.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
A small plane crash landing on the busy Florida interstate, striking a car.
A plane just crashed onto a highway. On a highway.
According to the NTSB, the small twin-engine plane
was happened about 6 days ago.
Power in both engines. The pilot forced to land east of Orlando during rush hour last night, crashing into a Toyota Camry. Emergency crews rushing to the site. Florida Highway Patrol saying the driver of the vehicle, a 57-year-old female from Melbourne, was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. The pilot and passenger on board the plane, both 27 years old, were not injured and remained on scene.
They look like they're okay.
They're very lucky that they made it.
David, the plane had been in the air for over an hour as part of an instructional flight when it experienced that engine issue. The FAA and NTSB are investigating. David?
That is just stunning video. We're just glad everyone survived it. Victor, thanks. Now
Yeah, Rob Reiner, absolutely legendary. It will be very sad if it was Rob that has passed away. A man was going to meet another guy to buy something off of Facebook Marketplace. Ended in an attack.
A holiday shopping warning. Millions use Facebook Marketplace to buy and sell gifts. But when one couple posted a laptop for sale, it led to a nightmare. The guys who showed up to buy it attacked them with bear spray.
You're about to see a holiday Facebook Marketplace deal turn violent. These two guys are there to buy a laptop computer that the homeowner has listed on the popular online platform that allows you to buy and sell anything from your car to furniture. The homeowner thinks the transaction for $2,700 is about to go through. Easy peasy. Suddenly, he's hit with bear spray. The laptop goes flying. The homeowner, blinded by the toxic chemical, grabs his attacker as his wife watches in horror. The struggle spills into the snowy street in Calgary, Canada. Brutal kicks.
Oh no, the ages match.
His wife goes on the attack, grabbing a snow shovel. Then one of the robbers runs back into the house. Husband and wife team up to tackle the intruder. The husband whacks the robber with the snow shovel. They take it outside again as the wife tries to wipe the bear spray out of her eyes.
I was bear sprayed 4 or 5 times inside of our house.
Les Trent spoke to homeowner Jason Nguyen.
What is it like to be sprayed, to be hit with bear spray?
My entire face was pulsating red, as well as my wife too. She was hit with the bear spray outside of our house.
Facebook Marketplace is enormously popular. More than 1 billion people around the world use it without a problem. So, with Christmas coming up, security expert Bob Strang says there are ways to avoid a nightmare like this during a face-to-face sale.
Always meet in a public place if you can. You never have anybody at your home or your office. Do your homework a little bit. You know, you ask the questions of them. You know, where do you live? What's your phone number?
The bear spray attack ends with the two bad guys fleeing.
Did they get the laptop?
They did not, no.
Facebook Marketplace does post safety tips, including a recommendation to meet in public places.
Da-da-da. It could be hantavirus, right? Because that's what happened with Anthony Hopkins, the hantavirus. A woman was arrested in Evansville, Indiana. I think she was from Kentucky. Evansville is just across the river. From Kentucky. A delivery driver for one of those app services has been arrested after spraying food with pepper spray.
A delivery driver's arrested, accused of spraying an order with pepper spray.
Have you heard about this story? It's gotten a lot of play.
Yeah, it has.
Well, they ordered it extra spicy.
Micah Knoll spoke with the couple who placed that order.
A typical night for Mark and Mandy Cardin turns sour.
She's just trying to help them out.
Their food, sprays it with an unknown liquid, and is caught on camera. The couple only realized something was wrong after taking a bite.
Wife went into the door and got the food and brought it into the house, and I still hadn't went into the kitchen. She was sitting there eating, and all of a sudden she started just coughing and like gasping, like she started choking, and then she threw up.
Oh, Gene Hackman. I'm sorry, Anthony Hopkins,
food in this
for burying you.
Considered a level 5 felony.
It's possible to go to prison for this. Now, it depends on the criminal history of the individual involved, and so it's way too soon to be discussing what kind of outcome might be looking at. That might be something later on when it came to.
I don't mean to do most of these. Sometimes I do it on purpose, but most of the time I am legitimately mixing people up. I'm sorry, it's just a quirk.
If a trial occurred or if a plea was entered, to have that discussion. But nonetheless, tampering with somebody's food and deliberately adulterating it is a felony in the state of Indiana.
When Cardin tried to contact the driver, he says he was blocked. Cardin says he went to social media to warn others.
I know how powerful of a tool social media is, because you see people go viral for everything, and you know, I don't want to be famous. This isn't about being famous. This is about protecting people, you know. I mean, this should have never happened.
The driver has been identified as Courtney Stevenson. A news release from the Vanderburgh County Sheriff's Office goes on to say she told detectives she used pepper spray not on the food, but to spray a...
I don't buy it.
He said...
Bullshit. We saw it. We saw the video.
Temperature outdoor spiders in Indiana are not active and would not be capable of crawling on exposed surfaces. Stevenson is awaiting extradition.
Ooh, busted by science.
In Kentucky.
I have a lot of friends who've been pepper sprayed for work, maybe work.
Flash, welcome in.
It's one of the worst things.
Yeah, what was the tip?
Having it happen unexpectedly, I can't even imagine. Next at 5, Lucky Strike, the sweepstake.
Lucky Strike. Let's do this one too.
Around the world landing the person who posted in an Oswego courtroom today.
A DoorDash driver showing a naked customer accused.
Oh no, please do, Oregon gal.
But getting arrested herself. 2 months later, she's facing the charges. News Channel 9's Andrew Donovan was there for her arraignment.
The Oswego City judge allowing News Channel 9 to record the proceedings. The first look at 23-year-old Olivia Henderson out
anonymously
her TikTok page.
Their front door was wide open, and they were within eyesight of the front door, laying on the couch, indecently exposed to me.
This is her last post, published October 26th, 2 weeks after her now-deleted video causing this controversy. Working as a driver for delivery service DoorDash, Henderson claimed she was dropping off a food order when through the customer's door, saw him on the couch naked. After posting her footage, she reported the incident to Oswego police as sexual harassment.
Some of the claims that she had made on social media after the fact were not in fact true. Investigators determined the man, drunkenly unconscious on his couch, did nothing wrong. But he found out later that she had made on social media after the fact were not in fact true.
Investigators determined the man, drunkenly unconscious on his couch, did nothing wrong. But he found out lewd images of him were published for thousands of TikTok users to see. So police criminally charged Henderson with 2 counts related to unlawful surveillance.
Wow.
Court documents.
Okay, so the dude's dong was hanging out, but he was just drunk, passed out on the couch. And it's his house. Yeah, Spinal Tap 2 just came out like a couple weeks ago. Well, maybe a couple months ago. I don't know how I feel about if you're in your domain and somebody has to come up to the door, but she was a delivery driver. She had to be here. This is a tough one. Ooh.
After posting her footage, she reported the incident to Oswego police as sexual harassment.
Some of the claims that she had made on social media after the fact were not in fact true.
Investigators determined the man, drunkenly unconscious on his couch, did nothing wrong. But he found out lewd images of him were published for thousands of TikTok users to see. So police criminally charged Henderson with 2 counts related to unlawful surveillance. Court documents accuse her.
Well, I think there was somebody else there.
Parts without
so somebody else could have ordered the food.
A reasonable expectation of privacy.
And to all those that have been supportive of me during this time, thank you so much.
For as talkative as she's been on TikTok until now, she had nothing to say while leaving the courthouse.
Livy, do you want to say anything about what happened?
The judge gave Henderson her next court date. It's after the new year, in January. In Oswego, Andrew Donovan, News Channel 9.
Join News Channel 9 for A Christmas Wish and help.
I don't know how I feel about this. You should have the right to pass out with your dick out. But I mean, if you order food and somebody comes up to your door and your dick is clearly visible, that seems like there's something wrong there. I don't know. Her posting the photo is what she did wrong. Because she posted lewd photos of somebody who had no idea, didn't consent to it. A woman found a man hiding in the trunk of a Waymo car. See, when I first heard the story, I figured it was like some sort of exhibitionist, an OnlyFans content creator that, gets naked in front of drivers and shit. Anyway, this woman found somebody inside the trunk of a Waymo car.
New tonight, a frightening discovery inside a driverless Waymo vehicle, raising serious questions about safety. An LA woman expecting an empty robo-ride instead found a man hiding in the car. Fox 11's Matthew.
These things are a blight on society.
Bizarre incident. Matthew.
Yeah, Phil, this is a strange one. Imagine you order a robo-taxi. It's supposed to be empty, and then finding a man in the back.
Are you in the trunk?
The new video adding
probably putting her shit back there
over driverless taxis.
Why are you in it?
A Los Angeles woman expecting an empty self-driving Waymo ride instead finds a stranger in the trunk.
They just put me in here. Who put you in? The what? The people.
His explanation only adding to the confusion right before police arrived to the scene near MacArthur Park.
That's crazy.
Officers say no arrests were made because technically no crime was committed.
No crime? So, huh? Okay.
Waymo needs to really check on their cameras because that's a safety hazard.
What did he do?
Another Waymo car in Los Angeles blew straight through a police standoff.
What the is that Waymo doing?
Officers with guns drawn and a suspect on the ground as the driverless taxi.
Oh, how did I miss this one?
Passenger in the back. Across the country, more than 3,000 Waymo vehicles are currently under recall after a software issue allowed the cars to drive past school buses with stop signs out.
I just want to know why was he in the trunk?
That's what we're all wondering.
Like, who put him in the trunk? How did he get into the trunk?
Are you in the trunk? That's why, Mom, I'm trying to figure this out.
Waymo calls this latest
questions we're all asking.
Who put you in?
Promising immediate updates and changes to make sure it never happens again.
I hope they figure that out so that we can, as women especially, feel safe in that kind of car.
It's just making me double check when I open my Waymo. I'm making sure nobody's in the trunk or anywhere else in the vehicle for that matter.
So a lot of questions tonight. How did that man get in the trunk and why? But again, so far, no arrests have been made. Reporting live, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
Matthew Seedorf. Let's go live to the scene of Rob Reiner's home. This is ABC 30. Don't know why I said it weird. Maybe if it loads here. The lovely Media Winch is in the chat.
Cruisers parked on both sides of the street there. The lights are out. It is.
This is live.
As Alex Stone was just pointing out for us a few moments ago, this investigation that began just after 3:30 this afternoon.
Rob Reiner owns this home, apparently.
This home, the home that belongs to Rob Reiner and his wife, and found two people, a man and a woman, dead inside.
3 generations of the Reiner family living within this property across the street, two properties from each other. Rob Reiner, in addition to being well known as an actor and director and producer, was also known for his political activism, was a well-known Democratic booster, donor, and did all that he could to support left-wing causes. You take a look at social media right now, and there are references to Charlie Kirk being murdered, a political assassination from what we can tell, and we do not know any details of what has happened here on the property of Rob Reiner, but just that this is a very touchy subject. This is a very fraught time for any kind of political discussion or activism, given the violence we have seen from both sides.
And as this murder investigation plays out, and the LAPD is calling this a murder investigation at this point for 2 people found inside that home, Alex Stone is now updating us again, saying his sources with LAPD tell ABC News that nobody is in custody and the victims have still not been officially identified.
Okay, so again, everything is surmising at this point what played out here. What happened? Was this domestic? Was this something within the family? Was this a robbery, a break-in? We have seen that kind of plague the West Side and the Valley in recent years. Spate of break-ins, home invasions. Was this random? Was this targeted? We do not know. I can see from our ground picture just for a moment that they are setting up a microphone, but that is strictly on the news side of things. The LAPD has not done anything to say when they will be speaking, if they will be speaking from the scene. We have been told that some of the upper management, the senior leadership of the LAPD personally are responding to the scene. So to me, that tells me Jim McDonald, the chief, is headed to Brentwood. We will likely hear from some of the detectives and investigators once they are prepared to speak. But as of now, this could take hours. They will likely be there all night, well into tomorrow, combing this scene and keeping it intact for fear of kind of tainting the crime scene.
And it's very likely at this point, even close family friends of the Reiners are also showing up to that scene, wondering the same things that we are asking right now. We were told by a neighbor there at the scene that Larry David and Billy Crystal both showed up what appeared to be separately to that scene outside the home. Billy Crystal appeared distraught, looked like he was going to cry. We were told they did not stay at this scene long, but Rob Reiner, as you continue to point out, considered Hollywood royalty.
Sorry, I had a nut stuck in my tooth and it was killing me. And we confirmed it.
The movie where he met his wife, Michelle Singer, who he owns this home with.
First film he directed was This Is Spinal Tap in 1984. He wrote the film, he directed it. A bit of a cult classic.
It sounds like they're eulogizing him.
Just recently, it was back in September. He came out with Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues. Publicizing the film himself, he seemed to be in good health and good spirits. And on the right, you can see there he is. That is Meathead, son on All in the Family. Brought Rob Reiner to fame as an actor in the 1970s series.
It sounds like they're eulogizing him. They know, don't they?
That into what we now know is one of
I haven't seen it.
And acting careers in Hollywood history.
I was meaning to watch it, and shit happened.
30 this afternoon, the
If you guys remember back to September, shit was kind of crazy.
Medical assistance at this home on Chadbourne Avenue in Brentwood. People were asking for medical assistance when 911 responders showed up there at the home. They found 2 people, a 78-year-old man and a 68-year-old woman, dead inside the home.
So those are the ages of Reiner and his wife?
Ages of the victims match Rob Reiner and his wife, but we have not been told.
Oh, God. So it is them.
Any identity related to those victims.
And we're now hearing from our desk, Chief Jim McDonald is not headed to the scene. We will see what senior leadership is referred to from that source from the LAPD to ABC News. We were told senior.
They're pretty much telling us.
But now our desk is learning that does not include LAPD Chief Jim McDonnell. We will see if that is a cause of him not being in town or any other reason. But as of now, we do not know why the chief was not headed here or who is headed here. Again, in all the time we have been overhead, more than an hour now from Air 7, we have seen exactly one person on the property itself. We assume from the LAPD walking through in a suit. All the other
that sounds like no foul play.
Property as LAPD vehicles begin to gather. It
is a gorgeous house.
Is lining the entrance to the property, or it might actually be across the road itself.
Right.
As we await some kind of movement here on Chadbourne Avenue.
And important to point out, sources tell ABC News that no one is in custody connected to this home.
Well, I mean, Reiner was Hollywood royalty.
Will likely extend the life of this investigation. Our crews there on the ground are giving you an idea of what things look like from the ground level on Chadbourne Avenue in the Brentwood area. I have to imagine as these news crews continue to show up, family, friends, and neighbors gather outside wanting to ask questions themselves. The crews are going to continue to be pushed further and further back, which could be another indicator of what is going on with this investigation, how long it may last. But we want to point out again that we have not seen almost anybody on that property in the hour plus that we have been watching this scene. From Air 7, you can see police gathered at the intersection, perhaps at the driveway outside the home. Much of the investigation, we're told, is going to play out inside of the home, so we will not be able to see what happens. Perhaps we'll have a better idea of where things stand when we see detectives and homicide investigators begin to go onto the property and into the home. Often we watch as evidence is carried out.
So this is a homicide investigation.
Steps that are being taken in this investigation. Her colleague Alex Stone.
Fuzzy Simba, welcome in. They are treating it like a homicide so far.
Trying to figure out exactly where things stand and what's going on here.
But remember, we had
where we are now, and
not Anthony Hopkins.
We see evidence and property begin to leave the
Hackman. It was Gene Hackman.
And investigators to go through the home itself.
His wife died of hantavirus,
where
and she was the one making sure he was taking his meds, and they both died.
In the past, the LAPD
so you can't rule out some crazy shit like that.
Simpson, which many had believed was going to be an easy guilty verdict, it did not end that way, as notoriously came back with a not guilty verdict, and a lot of the blame was placed on the LAPD's handling of the scene and evidence there. And so ever since that time, they have been very careful not to try and mar a scene, as was the case that happened with Nicole Brown Simpson and O.J. Simpson going to trial for her murder, and Ron Goldstein. So,
oh wow, bought it for $4.5 million in 90.
That there was a man and woman, 78 and 68 years old, found dead inside this home. The home belongs to Rob Reiner and his wife. We're told by neighbors there at the scene that his daughter also lives in another home on this property in the Brentwood community. This scene has now been going on for 4 hours now, and it will likely be several more hours until we have any sort of official information. It is a big step that LAPD acknowledged that this was in fact Rob Reiner's home officially on the record. But we've still not seen any investigators actually breach that home and go inside. We've not been told perhaps any manner of death, any speculation on that at this point. So they are very much keeping this tight-lipped as they start their investigation, start to ask questions.
Yeah. Rob Reiner began.
Well, Merry fucking Christmas.
Was famous in Hollywood for many years, worked well into his 90s, passed away in 2020 at the age of 100. Rob Reiner broke onto the scene as an actor in the 60s. Actually had some bit parts in some really famous shows. That Girl, Batman, The Andy Griffith Show, Gomer Pyle, USMC, The Beverly Hillbillies, The Partridge Family, before finally landing in 1971 as a cast member, All in the Family, played Michael Meathead Stivic, opposite Carol O'Connor's Archie Bunker on All in the Family. And from there had other parts in some pretty famous shows, The Odd Couple, The Rockford Files, and then began his directorial career, which most people now know him for. You know, an earlier generation might know him more as Meathead.
Right.
But I think some of the younger crowd knows him more as a director. And some of the most iconic films in Hollywood history. This is Spinal Tap, Stand By Me, The Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, A Few Good Men, The Story of Us, The Bucket List. It's so many. ending with Spinal Tap 2 just this year.
And his wife, Michelle Singer, is a photographer whom he met on the set of When Harry Met Sally. They've been married since 1989. I do want to point out we're also now hearing from LAPD that they will, in fact, have a news conference at the scene tonight, but they
Kamradsky.
time that they have given for that.
Welcome in. The news is pretty much all but confirmed that this...
It's now been 4 hours since that discovery of a man and a woman dead inside that home was.
This is Rob Reiner and his wife that have been found dead.
Hear more bits of information,
but we do not have confirmation yet.
From neighbors at the scene. We do have crews there on the ground who are trying to speak to neighbors, even to learn things about what they heard at the time when they started knowing something.
And the news has certainly been
going right for perhaps
treating him like they're eulogizing him.
That big of a deal, but
and welcome in, my friend. Let's light one up, tip one back.
Police tape is now up across the property, and LAPD is gathering in this Brentwood community.
Yeah, we heard Alex Stone revealing what some of his LAPD sources have told him. We are waiting to hear as well from George Pinocchio, who I'm sure has been hearing from a lot of sources across Hollywood tonight. We do also have our reporter, Eyewitness News reporter Elena Gomez, live on the ground at the scene in Brentwood. Elena just arrived there. What can you tell us?
Yeah, you can see that the area here is taped off. We just heard from a police officer telling us that they were no press conference set up for just yet, and they haven't really processed a home yet. So we're still waiting on more details of confirmation. But you can see the area here is taped off, and you can see the police activity further down the road here. We're on Birmingham. So just about a block or so down the way is where you're starting to see some of that police activity there. As you've been reporting, LAPD sources telling ABC News that they are investigating a murder at a home in this area of Brentwood that belongs to director Rob Reiner. This is the 250 block of Chadbourne Avenue. A lot of police activity just down the road from where we are, and obviously this area is blocked off from where we are. Now, initially this was set up as a death investigation, but that later developed into a murder case. All of this started just after 3:30 this afternoon when fire crews responded to a medical aid call here at that home. They determined 2 people were dead at the scene, a 78-year-old man and a 68-year-old woman.
Tones, welcome in, my friend.
Identities of those individuals just yet, and as I learned from PD just shortly ago, they have not processed the home yet. So still some time in this investigation to figure out exactly what happened. We're hoping
incredibly well, Tones. Works incredibly well. I have a little
more time before we get a press conference here. They did say that they would be sending out a statement
feedback
shortly with what they do know.
And I think I've determined it's the USB cord.
Okay, Elena, we have some questions.
So I have ordered it. I had to order it from a cord manufacturer directly that has
that the victims were stabbed.
Ferrites in it.
The identity of the victims.
It's supposed to prevent electromagnetic interference.
Reiner and his wife in Brentwood, and we are now being told from senior law enforcement officials.
I assume you guys can't hear it.
Stabbed to death.
Because I have a gate on it.
His family members.
There's music, so you're probably not. But like
give us a lay of the land.
When I'm doing voiceover, you can hear it.
Here, if we're talking about if this was a potential home invasion,
I sure can, darling.
Is there access? Are there hedges? Are there fences?
This is ABC 7.
This neighborhood, this street.
Yeah, pretty quiet neighborhood from what we're here, from what I can see from here. It's hard to tell just down the road, but you can see where the police car is. That appears to be, it looks like there's like a cross street there, and that seems to be where the home is. It's hard to tell just exactly. I do see some.
We've got a couple more stories. We probably
tell exactly.
Step away for just a second and come back to Rob Reiner here. They say there's going to be a news conference shortly. We'll take that live. And then probably police chase after news conference. A woman who was apparently having an affair with a man almost fell out of a 10th story window trying to flee from his wife. Quesadillo, welcome in. There are no like USB power settings. Like I noticed that when I plug in the USB cord, it turns on the interface even when the board isn't on. So.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Whoa. Whoa. 我操！我操！他有病啊！
So she is running from the wife. Oh my God! Oh, so they got it from the ground as well. This is wild.
Buildings on the grounds, well lit for the holiday season, which
Gotcha.
gives us.
I think they might have played the 911 call. We'll go back to Rob Reiner. Yeah, seriously, Winch. You know, invite her in. Might end up with a threesome. Might work out better than you thought.
Story that's all new this hour. 2 security guards accused of taking the law into their own hands by impersonating police officers to frighten a man after a minor car crash. Channel 2 Gwinnett County Bureau Chief Matt Johnson is live near Stone Mountain. And Matt, the victim says he was surrounded at gunpoint.
And it all happened in front of a preschool. Police say that those 2 men used their car to actually block a lane of traffic and block the victim in here. And then police say they used their guns to surround the man, apparently to get his insurance information.
You're not law enforcement, correct?
Not law enforcement.
All right, wait over
This
there.
body camera video shows a Gwinnett County police officer confronting 2 men dressed in tactical vests after police say they chased down the driver, blocked him in, and pointed guns at him.
If he did something, you could have called law enforcement. But you cannot block nobody. You're not law enforcement.
Police say 22-year-old Ryan Mays and 35-year-old David Robinson work as private security guards, but looked like police Saturday afternoon. It was around 4 o'clock on North Deshong Road near Stone Mountain when the victim called 911 in front of a preschool.
They had pointed their guns at him. They had threatened to shoot him. They had told him to get out of the car.
One man had a vest marked K9 with a body camera and taser. Another wore a vest marked enforcement officer. The victim told police the chase began in DeKalb County after a near collision. The 2 men said the victim actually hit their car, but denied ever identifying themselves as police officers.
It was very easy for them to be mistaken as police officers, and the victim's statement stated that they presented themselves as police officers to him.
Police say the 2 men dressed for authority that they did not have, and now they face multiple felonies, including impersonating an officer.
When, individuals that are not law enforcement are impersonating and pretending to be, it puts the public at risk.
And I'll reach out to the owner of the security company that employs the 2 men for comment, but so far have not heard back. Those 2 suspects remain in jail without bond while they wait for their day in court. Live in Gwinnett County, Matt Johnson, Channel 2 Action News.
Welcome in, Rocky. We do not know if Rob Reiner passed away. 2 people have been found dead at his home. We are currently awaiting a press conference. The ages match Reiner and his wife, but we do not know for a fact that Rob Reiner has passed away. Police are treating it as a murder investigation at the moment. Last week, a raccoon broke into a liquor store, and this seems to happen way more often than you would think.
If this was you or me, we'd probably be under arrest for breaking and entering, destruction of property, theft, and public intoxication. However, the prime suspect in this case is a raccoon. We had to see the pictures to believe it, and you're looking at evidence right now. You see the little guy there, passed out? He was in the bathroom, clearly regretting his life choices. This happened in Virginia on Saturday. An animal control officer said this raccoon broke into a liquor store and got into the scotch and whiskey on the bottom shelf. You know what? I've done the same.
He's a violent drunk.
He described his actions as a full-blown rampage, but the raccoon was released into the wild on personal recognizance, which seems to not make too much sense, but what a mess.
Stabbed to death.
We have an update on the little guy that went on a big bender. Yesterday, we told you police found a raccoon passed out near a toilet in a Virginia liquor store over the weekend. The store has released surveillance video of the furry intruder.
Look how cute.
Looking a little tipsy, tries to climb up shelves, then falls. The store's PR manager says the raccoon got into rum, moonshine, peanut butter whiskey, vodka, and eggnog. Sounds like a crazy night, right? A crazy Christmas party, maybe, was taken to an animal.
Celebrating the season.
Bring up, the raccoon was released back into the wild.
Do you all remember that raccoon found passed out drunk in a liquor store?
T-minus, welcome in.
Yeah. How could you forget, right? My spirit animal, I believe. Well, it's now raising money, not for the bar tab, but for the place that helped it dry out. The Hanover County Animal Shelter, which responded and released it safely back into the wild.
Helped it dry out.
It has now put together a line of merchandise honoring its thirsty friend, because this is what you do these days. So far, the sales have raised more than $150,000 to pay for programs at the shelter and to help other animals.
Well, that's fucking cute. So we're awaiting a press conference in Brentwood.
Year-old is facing several charges after a road rage incident in Ontario where investigators say he started shooting. This happened on the 10 freeway heading east near Yukon.
Oh, I thought they said a 5-year-old. It was a 45-year-old.
One person shot at another vehicle.
It changes things a lot.
They identified and arrested the alleged shooter and also say they recovered these unregistered and illegal.
But you never know in the United States.
Charges include attempted murder.
Here now is a look at some of the top stories we'll be following this week. The last man to be charged in the killing of an off-duty LA County Sheriff's deputy back in 2008 is set to be arraigned tomorrow.
I am sorry to everyone that I was off this past week. They completely took out this wall and replaced it.
It was gunned down as he
I completely took out my hard drive and replaced it.
House Republicans
I replaced my soundboard.
to vote on a new health care plan. It won't extend ACA.
I was able to pull my old microphone out.
Focuses on expanding association health plans, boosting transparency.
Curiouser is to think. Okay, we had the coolest set of lights. They were rainbow, and they did like a cascade effect, and they looked awesome.
To reach one.
But Smokey got into them and completely destroyed them. She got them off Temu. They were like $8 or something.
People in city.
But they looked really, really neat.
Unique car-free street celebration. Families got to explore 2 miles of open road, getting the chance to go on walks, ride bikes, and just take in the sights and sounds of the area without cars around.
Oh, got my new headphones in.
Food vendors and
love these things. I've been listening to all kinds of music.
local businesses.
In a community so affected by a wildfire, Palisades Elementary School celebrating the holiday.
So they'll be going back live to the scene in Brentwood. Or I thought they would.
Elementary hosted the Marquez.
We're awaiting a press conference. They're apparently doing, yeah, let's get high. That's perfect, clinically. We're awaiting the press conference. See what we got going on here.
And it was an unfortunate, horrible coincidence, but something beautiful.
That's James Cameron, isn't it?
I kind of promoted from within, and everybody.
Goddamn right, but I might need to clean this bong.
John was my best friend, and when I was able to jump in and help deliver what is, sadly his last movie, but I think he'd be very, very proud of it.
His son, Jamie Landau, has been part of the movies of Jim Cameron ever since he was a kid, and he turned up in Titanic.
I need to completely redo all my rewards and
movies ever since.
It certainly made
other
easier
ancillary shit on Twitch.
Surrounded by a different type of family.
I guess that's what the whole movie is kind of springboarding off, is this idea of how you get through grief and pain and hurt.
Here, let's do this. I have so many quirky stories.
There's another thread.
Oh, this is the first day of Hanukkah. Put on your yarmulke. It's time for Hanukkah. I hope I get a harmonica.
Food restaurant. All of the employees have vanished, and it sure looks like it was a hasty exit.
Police department.
Hamburger buns are in the toaster. French fries are cooking as a timer beeps. Is it a real-life Stranger Things? Others are comparing it to the hit horror movie Weapons, where a class of third graders disappears. Customers at the Hardee's in Blue Springs, Missouri got on the phone to 911.
I'm at Hardee's and there's nobody here in the
store's
business.
open and unsecured?
Yeah.
And there's nobody in there at all?
Nobody.
Ryan Eggers was the first to discover
the store is open and unsecure.
Cheese melt, and went to Hardee's, waited for about 10 minutes, and nobody showed up.
No employees behind the counter, nobody to take your order.
I like a good cheese melt.
Did that strike you as odd?
Very odd. In all my life, I've never encountered a situation such as this.
There's Ryan, munching on an abandoned burger from the grill, standing by as police investigate.
Police department.
Nobody in the restroom or the stockroom, but they do find condiments and cheese left out in the open, and food that's still cooking.
Looks like the fryers are still going.
I'm using glass screens, and they
something was off.
Do not stay workable more than one
Then a
bowl.
phone just sitting on a table rings.
Hello?
It's the Hardee's supervisor on the line. Apparently, there was a dispute among employees, and they all walked out mid-shift. As for Ryan's wife and her food order, did she ever get her ham and cheese?
That's a negative.
But they did get quite a story to tell.
We reached out to Hardee's corporate office.
They use the Stranger Things music. Oh, you'll go to Carl's Jr.'s instead. That's really going to help things. Go to Carl's Jr. instead. Let's see what else I got here. We're going to try to stick around for the press conference here in the Rob Reiner possible murder. Guy said based employees of the Hardee's. What about these base protesters throwing crumble and custard? This had to happen at in the UK. Throwing crumble and custard at Crown Jewels.
Democracy has crumbled. Run out and take back power for that.
I haven't been to a Red Robin in 20 years.
The troops of the nation to take back power. Join us at takebackpower.net.
There are homeless people dying on our streets. This is the most dangerous time of the year for them. And we have the rich hoarding wealth. This is disgusting. Sign up for action with us at takebackpower.net. Democracy has come, Lord. Join us at takeback.
It sure seems like that's what the news was alluding to.
Troops of the nation to take back power. Join us at takebackpower.net.
It seems that Rob Reiner and his wife have been murdered.
The most dangerous time of the year for them. And we have the rich hoarding wealth. This is disgusting. Sign up for action with us at takebackpower.net.
Curiouser made a BLT. It looked really good.
Democracy has come, Lord.
She looks like a character out of Harry Potter.
Britain is broken. So we've come here, the troops of the nation, to take back power. Join us at takebackpower.net.
There are homeless people dying on our streets. This is the most dangerous time of the year for them. And we have the rich hoarding wealth. This is disgusting. Sign up for action with us at takebackpower.net.
We are back live outside of Rob Reiner's house. We'll take the live stream again. ABC7.
The identities of the victims in this murder investigation now happening at the home of Rob Reiner, who has a storied Hollywood career, both as director, writer, actor, and more. He has been doing this for decades. I think most Americans of a certain age got to know Rob Reiner starring as Meathead on All in the Family back in the 70s. He won 2 Emmy Awards for that role and then went on to just explode onto the directorial and producing scene. As we see, the police tape is up across what looks to be the driveway, or at least the street in here in Brentwood, leading up to the home of Rob Reiner and his wife.
So we do know that senior leadership is responding to that scene. So this investigation will likely go on for several hours now as investigators.
Okay, this is apparently old. This is previously recorded. It says down there in the bottom.
Live pictures right now.
So they're actually not back live with it. We're still not getting official confirmation. I know everybody is like posting sources say. Sources get things wrong. But I don't think we're live currently on ABC7. We were supposedly going to get a press conference. Well, you know what I think about your balls, sir, being a source? They're not very authoritative.
He's kicking authority in the balls.
Seat, a care bundle, and other goodies. This event was in partnership with LA County Animal Care and Control, and there are a lot of animals that need forever homes this time of year.
Well, still to come tonight, parents demanding.
No, go back. I want to see more about the puppies.
In Westlake.
It was cleaned up, but it is now back and apparently worse than it was before.
Legendary figure in Hollywood. It is going to be a sad day if it turns out to be true that Rob Reiner has passed away. A man found a 500-pound bear in his crawl space. Now, if you're in the gay community, that could be a good thing. You might enjoy having a bear up in your crawl space. All depends on perspective here.
Crawl space under a home, a homeowner facing a serious problem. Happening now in Altadena, incredible video here. You're looking at a large bear somehow squeezing itself into and out of a tiny crawl space under a home. A homeowner facing a serious problem today, saying the stubborn animal won't leave. Eyewitness News reporter Josh Haskell live in Altadena with more on the video and what is being done today, Josh.
And Mark, the bear right now is underneath that.
He's a squatter.
How do I know that? Well, throughout the day, we've had looky-loos, all sorts of people come by here trying to get close, and that is
looky-loos.
Our vantage point here. We've heard a loud roar. That's when those folks have been running right back towards us. Crawl spaces under homes can be tight, even for a bear. But this now famous Altadena bear has made the narrow space under Ken Johnson's home a den for the winter.
I think the longer he's there, the more comfortable he's going to be, and this won't end.
The bear is famous in this neighborhood along Altadena Drive below the San Gabriel Mountains because it's been spotted almost every week for over 6 months. Some residents believe the Eden fire destroyed its home, which is why it now roams their neighborhood looking for shelter and food.
Our neighbors had a bear, and I hear now there's one across the street, and it's in the mountains, and we burned, so they had to go somewhere. They had no place to live. Where are they going to go? And nice dark basement.
Yeah, sweet babies.
But the size of this particular bear who is tagged concerns Johnson, who is working on a plan to draw the bear out of the crawl space, then block the entrance with sandbags.
It's terrifying. I have to stop shaking when moments ago. I'm starting to get used to it, but it sounds like a dragon.
It's coming around, and I think it's just a matter of time something's going to happen. If they're that bold to get under the house, and I've talked to people up the street, and they've had the same thing. The bear has torn the door out, and they go in there.
Johnson has reached out to the California Department of Fish and Wildlife, who says they're aware of the situation and will determine the next steps.
That's a big-ass bear.
And transporting it back up to the mountains.
Keep your distance as much as you can. Make sure that
he's very cute.
Space to escape. That's a huge element. Bears don't want to be around us any more than we want to be around them. And if they feel like they're cornered, that could be a problem. But if they see an escape route, they're going to take it. And then you also just want to make sure that you're being loud, making yourself big, waving your hands around, and slowly backing away.
And Fish and Wildlife also says that securing crawl spaces, especially during this time of year, during the colder months, is extremely important. Live in Altadena, Josh Haskell, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
I told Curiouser the other day that I was like, do you guys remember back in early to mid 2000s, scene girls, young kind of club girls would wear these backpacks that were like teddy bears. They were really small, like a teddy bear backpack. And I was like, those were really cool. I would like a teddy bear backpack. Do you guys remember that? Am I smoking crack? Some of them were koala bears, and some of them were, there were different kinds of bears. They were cute. Yeah. So I was like, I really want one of those. I would tell, and Curiouser was like, would you honestly wear it out? And I said, I absolutely would. Guess who has a teddy bear backpack? It's not exactly like the ones I remember, but it's super cool. I am so into it. I am totally going to go out with my teddy bear backpack. And how wild is that? I'm just driving down the road, and this is like yesterday or day before yesterday. We're just driving down the road, and I'm like, hey, do you remember these teddy bear backpacks? And she's like, well, you know what? I actually have one. Oh. We're gonna watch a police chase. That's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna ditch YouTube. Sorry, YouTube people. We're gonna watch a police chase. We're gonna listen to music, and possibly get a Rob. Oh shit! I'm not signed in. I'm not signed into Facebook. I can still watch the. Yeah, I can still watch the video. Listen to music and watch a police chase. We probably have several since I've been off. Here is a beautiful eel. Electric blue ribbon eel. Off the coast of Indonesia. I almost certainly will be on tomorrow. Probably, maybe, yes. So YouTube people, podcast people, light one up, tip one back. It's alright to have a little fun for you at the sack. I'm JustinFREAKIN. We'll see you tomorrow night on the Troll Patrol. Live. Twitch people, we're gonna want